okay.
Oh,
anyway,
it's terrible.
Game number 1, Roos against... It's getting worse. It smells so good. Game number 1, Roos against French. Here we have DeMusliM matching up against Beastyqt. And we will be looking at this hunt on the map to see who catches it first. Or kills it, rather, I guess.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Typically in the early game, you're going to be looking to try and kill that. And already we see DeMusliM coming over towards Beasty's position. Now, I will apologize in advance because we're probably going to get a few of these names wrong or these matchups wrong, just because you've got DeMusliM playing blue, and he's got the red flag behind him, the Rus. And you've got Beasty playing red, and he's got that blue flag behind him playing the French.
My head hurts.
Not only that, but they're also on the opposite sides of the maps as well. So you've got Beasty on the French, who's on the left side, and then DeMusliM, Rus, right side. So it's going to get confusing.
Guys, if you're ever wondering who is playing in blue, it is the player with the door behind them on the camera. That is the higher seed, and they always play in blue, except for the one game yesterday where DeMusliM screwed it up.
Really?
Yeah, LucifoN hosted the game instead of him, but that's neither here nor there. So we are going to be looking at Beasty's scout currently, and he is playing as the French, so he will not be receiving bounty for killing those deer. DeMusliM will, however, and he's got a wolf chasing him too, so that's an extra little bit of gold.
Yeah, so we saw this matchup yesterday. DeMusliM, or rather Beasty, was on the French, going up against the Rus of TheMista. And unfortunately, it went to late game for Beasty, so it meant that he was in a bit of a difficult position because playing French in the late game, it's never a position that you want to be, unless maybe you're on King Up the Hill and you're able to get up to Imperial before your enemy. But the Rus late game, incredibly strong, Dave. So I'd expect Beasty tries to finish this one sooner.
Yeah, normally a normal human wouldn't be excited about 3 wolves chasing them, but Beasty has to be feeling pretty good. He's got a wolf chasing the other. He's got a wolf chasing every single scout and 3-on-1 too. So he's going to be in a pretty good position here. Obviously, high view, lots of opportunity to take in that bounty. It's funny. I was talking to Beasty about that game, and he was talking to a couple other players about that game that he played against TheMista, and he was telling me about his thought process where he was saying, "Oh, I wanted to go up to Imp, and then I reached Imp, and I'm like, but why? Why do I want to take this into the long game against Ruse?"
Yeah, so I think what is really interesting is, so Beasty's talked about this before, is the Royal Institute. Now, I don't know if he's going to want to show his hand, because keep in mind, players at the moment, we're in the final day of group stages here, so players probably don't want to be showing absolutely every card that they've got in their deck. But one of the cards Beasty is aware of is that Royal Institute. It's a very all-in landmark. It's going to enable him to pick up the Royal Bloodline technology from the French, get that extra health in the Castle Age instead of having to go up to the Imperial Age. So that is something that we could potentially see out from him, but keep in mind, he might want to be keeping that one close to his chest.
Now, I want to switch to DeMuslim's point of view, if possible. Remember, his scout is in the blue, Beasty's is in the red, and we've got 320 bounty already.
That is a huge amount of bounty. Now, keep in mind, he had about 5 wolves following him at one point, but he's going to be very happy with this. Already 284 gold in the bank. That's a huge amount of gold.
Yep. And, of course, he's going up with that golden gate. And what's the opening going to be here for the Ruse?
There's a couple of different options that they've got. The most common one that you will see is professional scouts into Fast Castle, but it is seeming to be more often than not a 2T2C play is what we're seeing. So 2 town centers, a barracks being dropped down to defend against knights, and then going up to castle yourself. Once you're in castle, there's a couple of different ways you can play it, whether you want to go into men-at-arms, but what we're seeing most Rus players do is just try and defend, try and hold on, and play for the late game, because that is where your strength is really going to lie.
And with the French, you were speaking about the knights. If you get knights on the field, what sort of resource from the Rus do you want to target?
It's really tough trying to focus down any Rus resources because they keep them all so close to that town center. So typically with the professional scouts, they're right underneath that town center, and at the same time they've got the wooden fortress that they put on the wood line. So it can be difficult. Normally it's going to be that wood line though, but you know, you throw in a wooden fortress and a couple of spears and it's going to be near impossible to get through there.
Yeah, the professional scouts synchronize so well with the bounty system. You kill all the carcasses and then you can just bring them in. So you don't even you aren't even exposed building a mill out in that location. So another difficulty maybe in the French versus Rus matchup. The Knights really good at picking off a villager here or there, But early on in the game, like you said, everyone's clustered under that TC. They're quarantined in the economy there, so it's really, really tough to find openings.
We see an early Blacksmith coming out for Beasty here. I suspect that this the early Blacksmith for him is just going to be able to get that +1 upgrade. I would be very surprised if we saw any other upgrade coming out from him this early. Now, keep in mind, he has also got through Wheelbarrow. DeMusliM is also getting through Wheelbarrow at the moment. We can check and see that it is in queue, so not going for that Professional Scouts just yet, but does have the Spears out. Going to be able to hold the line with those Spears, but yeah, curious to see how it develops, and DeMusliM has actually bought Stone, so we are going to be seeing that second Town Center coming out. So I'd be curious how Beasty's going to be responding to this, whether he looks to go for a couple nights just to harass or poke or prod, and then straight up to castle himself, I suspect.
And what's the Professional Scout timing like on this? Because I see the scouts from Beastie still kind of hanging around those carcasses, and I have the feeling that as he produces more scouts, he wants to grab the ones closer to DeMusliM's base and take them away. Remember, the scouts run pretty slow with the carcasses on their backs, so going a long way across the map isn't really going to work that well if there's knights on the field.
Yeah, typically the best thing to do is try and secure that that early food source in your close hunt, and then once you've brought in a few of those carcasses, then you can think about stealing your enemies. But we can see that second town center being dropped down now for DeMusliM. A bit of a raid was going on towards Beastie's gold mine as well, but he has managed to repel that. Be curious to know whether DeMusliM is looking to pick up that Professional Scouts as well. Obviously got the Wheelbarrow in queue still, but whether he's looked to queue anything else up, it doesn't look like it, because obviously he's invested a lot of resources in that second town center.
Yeah, and there come the first carcasses there for Beastyqt, and I like the fact that the second town center is on the berries, just in case he needs an extra little food source if he's denied off the early carcasses. And the spearmen are moving out now. DeMusliM continues to make spearmen. He's getting siege engineering now? No, that's Beastie getting siege engineering.
Yeah, so this is pretty interesting. Beastie is looking to play this in feudal, and it looks like he's going to be trying to take it late feudal. So he knows he's got a timing window about the 13 to 16 minute mark where he's really going to be able to hit DeMusliM hard. So I suspect that's what he's going to be looking to do. Ideally, he wants to do it before DeMusliM gets to Castle Age, because if that happens, he's going to be in trouble because of those men-at-arms that just effectively counter everything.
Yep. And here comes some archers as well. He's got another knight in the queue. So he's looking to pressure a little bit here in Age 2. The spearman out of position, and the archer was hiding in the forest there. They're going to engage against that archer, and Beastie will pull him back. He has more archers behind, though, so DeMusliM's forward spearman going to be cleared up. The knight's still running around in the back there. Beastie's got to make sure not to lose that archer, but he's going to be fine, and more knights on the way, too. Killing the scouts as well, so DeMusliM's going to have an issue bringing in these carcasses, as behind this, Beastie brings in all those carcasses. So kind of role reversal here a little bit, as the French are stealing all the meat from the Rus player.
Yeah, this is the consequence of going for that second town center. You can see that he wants to prevent these carcasses from being taken, but he just doesn't have the resources at the same time, doesn't have Professional Scouts yet, he hasn't had the gold to invest into it. And so it means he's probably going to have to throw that one away. We now see Forestry coming through for Beastyqt, as well as Chivalry. So he's really looking to commit to this second age play.
More spearmen still coming out from DeMusliM, and horsemen in the queue as well. So he's just looking to defend. He knows he has the production advantage on the villagers with that second TC, just about to catch up in villager count, and Beastie is still doing good work with the horses, or with the scouts, trying to look for some more carcasses. He's got archers on the carcasses in the middle. He's looping the knights around the side, and he's using these stealth forests to hide his movement from his enemy.
Yeah, it's a pretty smart move, I reckon, because keep in mind the scouts typically they want to be back around the base looking for those raids. So to have use those stealth forests enables him to have that that little bit of secrecy. But now we see continued attacks moving around. If we could take a look from Beastie's perspective, I'd love to get an idea about exactly what he sees. And now we see that battering ram coming down. The archer fending off the spear so that it is unaware. But if we can take a look from DeMusliM's perspective, does he know that this battering ram is coming down?
These archers are going somewhere. He's got to know that. There's no way he just sends two archers here. They're rendezvousing with something, and he's likely to follow this one. And I would love to see Beastie even pull that one away and sacrifice him maybe. But he pulls him into the knights. He's going to show him the ram now. The horsemen are going to engage against the archers, and the spearmen are being pulled now to get involved with this fight. Those knights need to be careful careful about the spearmen, and the archers are just going to be against horsemen now.
Yeah, it's a really tough position for Beasty. We can see he's trying his best to micro out, but there's so many horsemen in here from DeMusliM. It's just overwhelming odds and numbers.
Yeah, the archer numbers going down. He manages to micro down one more spearman, but the horsemen are going to take full advantage here. And that ram, I mean, it's so lonely. It's just sitting up there, 99% built, you know. I don't know if that thing's ever going to be finished.
I suspect it won't be, but DeMusliM has done a great hold, and this is part of the reason why we see the Rus a bit of a raid actually up towards DeMuslim's base. You can see the villager count's quite even here, so DeMuslim's still yet to pull ahead. But this is part of the reason why we are seeing 2 town centers coming out from Rus players more often, is because it's so difficult to deal with.
Yep.
They've got all the resources that they need stacked inside their base. If they need to be flexible with their economy, they can be because of the Golden Gate. So if they need to sell or buy any resource, then they can do that. And that's part of the reason why it's so strong. They don't have to invest that 50 wood into the mining camp to place down on the stone mine because they just buy the stone.
I feel like he should have sacrificed that one archer. As soon as he saw the horsemen and the other army, like just, okay, we're going to keep hiding over here. You're consigned to death, and we will pull the horsemen to the other side.
Yeah, it felt like he was rallying, though. You kind of knew it was coming, but we can see now that a bit of a raid coming towards Beasty's base at this point in time, over towards the outside of the gold mine. Those horsemen beginning to move in, getting some, spotting out some villagers, but the knight's going to be coming in here. And you can see Beastyqt is so confident, pulls the villagers back, and then just says, you know what, I'm just going to keep them on the gold mine.
Yep,
I'm not even fussed.
This is the specialty with French, right? The Knights raiding here, and the Knights have found the villagers as they finally expand, and this is the casualty of Beasty taking those carcasses early. DeMusliM not able to grab the carcasses. He has to go all the way out there. One villager goes down because of it, but he responds in time, bringing army to support. His horsemen out front, though, can't do any damage to Beasty's economy, and Beasty is going to be pushing forward once again.
Yeah, now keep in mind behind this, DeMuslim's on 2 town centers the entire time. And that's exactly what he wants, because he is securing his position in that late game. As long as he's able to stay ahead in the villager count, it's going to translate to more resources, more units, and eventually a tech advantage as well. And that's exactly what he wants to win this game.
But he's only 5 villagers ahead now. Both players with wheelbarrow. That's like the French privilege right there, isn't it?
That is indeed the French privilege. The bonus of playing the French is that you're making villagers faster, and you also get to kill a lot more villagers than other civilizations, just simply because you've got those knights. Knights incredibly effective at killing villagers, 2-shot. Compare that to a horseman, and it's 6 shots.
Oh, wow. Ram City in the middle. Ram City, here he comes. He's got spearmen now. He switched into spearman production, heavy spearman production, as soon as he noticed those horsemen after the first fight. Of course, he comes back with another knight to that side and comes in with another knight in the top corner, which is excellent. DeMuslim's going to have to be looking at 2 different raids at the same time, and then he's going to have to switch his focus over to this push in the middle, which is spearman, archer, and double ram.
Yeah, this is pretty insane coming out from Beastyqt. He's got so many units, and now the horseman going to be coming back. Brings back about 12 horsemen here just to fend off this single knight. And the knight probably would have walked away anyways, but now back towards the other side of the base, we can see the rams beginning to move around and posture towards the east side of DeMuslim's base. And it's so smart coming in from this angle, because it's exactly where he wants to hit. All the good stuff's back here, production, houses, and most importantly, that second town center.
Most importantly, only spearmen for DeMusliM. I think he had 2 horsemen there. His horseman army, like you said, was chasing that one knight, so the rams are going to come in. The archers are behind. The spearmen are just sitting there and waiting for the horsemen to arrive, and more reinforcements on the way. Where's the army for DeMusliM? It's north of this, and it's going to attempt to engage. This is going to be a difficult position for both players to micro with all the buildings and the wood line there. But DeMusliM comes in. He goes right past the spearmen. BC getting a lot of good hits, and now DeMusliM is coming out YOLOing with the villagers to take down those rams.
There's so many villagers here. You can see that they're throwing their torches into that first ram. That ram is definitely going to be going down. But look at the amount of units that remain here for Beasty. It looks like he's having an overwhelming victory on that front. Just spears fighting out with horsemen. It's always a great trade. Those archers do manage to survive. It's not looking pretty right now for DeMusliM.
Yeah, he had a villager lead. He had a villager lead of 5, and now he's behind by 10.
So a massive swing, and we continue to see that swing. Continue to see villagers dying. 13 villagers difference now between these 2 players. So almost a swing of 18. I think I saw a little bit of an esports head shake coming out from DeMusliM there. We see insufficient wood, so he's not going to be able to heal up this wooden fortress.
Now it feels bad, man. Insufficient wood.
Insufficient wood. There's nothing worse, is there?
If only we had a different sponsor here.
Hey, I just realized that's probably a good Smurf name. Insufficient wood.
Insufficient wood, yep. All right, another ram coming out there from Beasty, and I saw another army coming through the middle as well. So he's going to continue the pressure, all the while bringing back more carcasses with his professional scouts. We got 43 villagers for DeMusliM, 57 for Beasty, and the military count, 3 for DeMusliM.
Yeah, this is not pretty. Look, typically if your enemy's got 40 military population, ideally you'd like to have roughly the same. But yeah, DeMusliM has about 1/13 of that. And we do see GG coming through. DeMusliM realizing that the 2-town center play probably wasn't that good against the single TC from Beastyqt.
I think it all started falling apart as soon as he split his villagers from that safe eco. He went out to the hunt. He went out to the berries, I believe, in the north. He got raided there, and I think it was less the villagers he lost and more the distraction. He didn't notice the army coming down the middle. His horsemen were way out of position. And then by the time he engaged, he was just like, well, I guess I have to run through the spearmen. And it took a really bad fight. YOLO with the villagers. No coming back from that.
There just didn't seem to be a lot of units. He did quite well to hold that initial first push.
Yep.
Obviously invested a lot of resources into more villages and that second town center, but he was okay. His head was above water. And then just within the blink of an eye, I don't know exactly what happened, but we just saw a huge massive units coming through for Beastyqt, and it took him to victory.
And no early scouting from DeMusliM to let him know that was coming. Like when 2 rams and 30 units sneak up through the back of your base, that's not good.
Yeah.
It's just not good.
They came in from such a great angle as well, coming in from that. Typically, you want to avoid coming in from the front because the town center, it's able to actually fire. But now it looks like we've got a little bit of technical support coming in from the big bad Nilly, the man himself. He's making sure the chair is all functional. We can see that DeMusliM, he's a very tall man, probably sits at about a safe 6'3".
A lofty 6'3".
Yeah, about 6'3", and you can see Beasty coming back into the room, bit of a smile on his face right there. Happy with the victory, happy with the setup, not working DeMuslim's way, I suspect. But it looks like DeMuslim's had a chair swap out. So
yeah, Nilly, our resident caster, tournament host, semi-pro player, GLT member, and chair engineer.
He did go to university for chairs.
He is German. So I think
famous for engineering.
It's like an inherent skill, maybe.
Yeah, I suspect so.
And let me fix your chair.
He's fixed many a chair in his life, and he adds that one to the tally. But speaking of tallies, it's 1-0 at the moment. We'll be heading into game number 2, which is going to be on Hill and Dale. We'll take a look and see if we have got ourselves a little bit of a draft. Surely that can't be right. That is last game's draft. Here is the new one. We're going to be standing by with you guys. We're going to be watching. I'm going to be spectating. Hopefully we'll have something soon, Dave.
We saw the mirror match of Holy Roman Empire earlier this tournament with DeMusliM, and he looked really, really good on that. I think that was against Viper, right? On Hill and Dale?
Yeah.
Where he played 2 stable. Oh, and he's gone for Holy Roman Empire again.
Ooh.
And his opponent has chosen the Mongols, which is generally considered to be a kind of HRE counter pick on this map.
Very much so. So it is, typically you would love to play as the Holy Roman Empire against a civilization like China. But by the same token, you'd love to play the Mongols against the Holy Roman Empire. So already coming into this game, DeMusliM is going to be down quite a bit. Yeah, so it's going to be very tough for him to overcome Beasty. Not only is Beasty an incredibly strong opponent when it comes to gameplay, but a great strategic mind.
Exactly, and I think that's a good call out from him. And DeMusliM maybe should have expected Mongols as a counter pick here.
So then he goes for the Abbasid.
Yeah.
But then at the same time,
you're missing out on Abbasid.
Exactly, you're missing on
Abbasid looks so strong
and
here.
what if your enemy knows that you've got Mongols available?
Yeah, but that's like level 3 stuff. I mean, did you see Beasty's T-shirt? It said lazy. Like he's at best level 2 right now.
Did you see his T-shirt yesterday? That is one of my favorite T-shirts I've ever seen.
What was it?
It was a cat, and on it just said, pss, 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 pss. You know that sound that you make when you see a cat on the street?
Yeah.
It was a good shirt. I liked that shirt. But I'm liking this matchup a lot for Beasty. I'm not typically a big fan of the Mongols, but this is a really strong civilization win here, and we'll talk a little bit about why that is. But number one, it's just going to be aggression. From Mongols. They've got a lot of nice timings and very capable of keeping the Holy Roman Empire player in their base. Obviously, they don't have walls, so it's going to be impossible for them to wall them in, but they use outposts to great effect.
Yeah. And it's all about cutting off the mobility from the prelates or denying them from even getting to those prelates before getting out to the relics. And the Mongols can certainly spam enough units to do so. I think both players are in the match already. And here we go. 35 seconds in, we've got DeMusliM down 0-1. And he's playing as a Holy Roman Empire. Beastyqt counter-picking with the Mongols on Hillendale.
Yeah, I'd love to take a look at Beastie's base and see exactly what kind of spawn he's got. It looks like he's pretty close to this wood line and is probably going to be able to push in those deer as well, very close to the town center. He'll be happy with that, but at the same time, bit of a walk, bit of a stroll to that gold mine. He has placed down his Uvu. We can see that towards the center of his base, so not towards the front, but pretty decent spawn here. He's got 2 relics close to his own base, but by the same token, DeMusliM has plenty of relics up on his side as well. Just main issue he's got is these cliffs here. It's going to be easy for him to wall out his enemy, though.
Yeah, I love leaning in like an inch away from the, the screen to look at the relics. He places the wall there. There is potential to chop through that. We do allow that in this tournament.
Yeah.
And the problem for DeMuslim's base here, like you mentioned it, that cliff in the front, like if Beastie controls that entrance on the right side, DeMuslim's not going to be able to grab any of that stuff. And there's no relic over on the left. Whole left side of the map because he can't even sneak out that way. And if he goes out the front where he's walled right now, he's going to have to walk through the military that Beastie has there anyway.
That's 100% correct. So I suspect we're just going to be seeing a little bit of a camp set up over on that right-hand side. But I'm looking forward to seeing where the action really starts to unfold because we've now got that villager coming out, and I expect we'll probably see a chop through almost immediately. I don't even think he's going to be, thinking two ways about it. He's going to be bringing the Khan in now. He spots out the wall and he says, I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see a little chuckle out from him. No chuckle.
And that wood line's like good and bad at the same time, right? It's good because you're like, oh, an extra little barrier, and it's bad because if you want a wall there, you're going to have to invest a lot more wood to make that effective.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see Beastie look to put an outpost on the opposite side of the wall just as a starting point, and then he would look to chop through. Because keep in mind, DeMuslim's going to be able to pull more and more villagers towards that wall, continue to wall it in, and as long as there's chopping, there'll be walling.
And it also helps later on in the game. Let's say you've been pushed back from inside DeMuslim's base. If he sends a prelate out that way, the outpost can snipe the prelate. So it helps with that map control, with that vision, and letting you know what your opponent's up to.
Yeah, but take a look on the minimap. We can actually see Beastie coming around that wall, so not opting in that direction. Instead, going to be heading towards the wood line. The Khan does spot this one out. We'll take a look at Beastie's perspective and see exactly what he sees, but he's going to know that his enemy is up to the second age, going up with the Arkan Chapel here.
Let's see what DeMusliM can see. Can he spot this? No,
nothing.
Just out of sight.
So he doesn't have any idea. Now, he does spot in the enemy base the Uvu. He spots the barracks. So he knows that there is going to be aggression. He just doesn't know where it's going to be. He doesn't know when it's going to be because it could be in his base right now. He just might not see it.
And he's going out to stone now.
This is interesting. I don't think we've ever seen this before. So there's 2 different routes you can go here. Number 1, town center. Number 2, arrow slits. And it looks like it's going to be arrow slits that he's going for. We can see the villagers really starting to get pulled now. He's going to be looking to try and take out that villager before this outpost gets up. You can see the daggers now coming out. We'll zoom in on that for you so we can take a look and see whether that villager goes down. He's going to be walking away with barely any life left, Dave.
Yeah, he walks away, and that villager will survive for the time being. That was a great outpost there from... I could sense the thought process there from DeMusliM. Like, what would happen if he got an outpost here? That wouldn't be good. I'm going to make my own outpost. And he's like, oh, hello.
Villager now looping back around, but that's a great point. And it all comes down to that scout that he created, because that scout went down onto the Uvu, spotted out the barracks, and he said, I smell something. It's cheese. And that's exactly what we found. And now that villager going to be going down, the scout getting its dagger out as well, chops it down, might be losing his life for it, but I tell you what, it's a worthwhile trade.
It is, because now if Beastie wants more outposts, he's going to have to send another villager across, which is a long walking time for that villager. That's got to be really demoralizing to lose that. At that percentage, like 99% complete, to lose the villager
it's
like
a
that
is, right there.
Yeah, it's a complete doubt post. And especially when you saw your opponent going onto stone, So you're like, I feel like I kind of need to pressure them. I feel like I kind of need to pressure them, and then you can't pressure them.
We now see arrow slits coming through here for DeMusliM as well. Now, keep in mind, he's up and safe in that second age, whereas Beasty, on the other hand, just dropping down his landmark now.
So using the stone there, and now Spearman on the left side. Spearman on the right side as well is completely cornering his base, but can't do anything about that wood line for the time being. Gold is completely cut off. But DeMusliM is still feeling fairly comfortable here. The villager count is even. But I think DeMuslim's ahead by a little bit.
Yeah, we'll take a look at DeMuslim's base. We'll see there is an archery range coming down. So this is going to help him out a huge amount with regard to defending against that that push coming in from the spears. He's going to be looking to potentially send out a villager, just repair it up whether he can. Now we see that villager coming out to repair. Keep in mind he is playing the Holy Roman Empire. He can also use emergency repairs. But remember, if you're not playing the Holy Roman Empire all the time, you're going to forget that, Dave.
Yep.
That's exactly what we see here. So a little bit of a mistake coming out here from DeMusliM.
It feels like players forget on both sides, though. When you're attacking, you're like, oh, crap, emergency repair. And then when you're defending, you lose a building, you're like, oh, crap, emergency repair.
It really is true. But you know what else is true? We're seeing the second silver tree of the tournament coming out here for Beastyqt. So I really start to think that TheMista is a meta setter. He is ahead of the meta, and now we see that he is actually going to be taking what Mr. was running with, and he's going to be looking to abuse it, looking to use it. If we take a look in the bottom, or on the left-hand side of your map, you're going to see those trading posts going up, and we can see the silver trees heading out in that direction. So he's going to be doing very well with regard to this silver tree.
Yeah, and BC was talking about that game with Mista and I this morning, and he was saying, if you see the silver tree is up, if you see the trade is there, you have to pressure. You can't sit back and boom yourself. It gets out of control so quickly. And he said it was likely that any other player in that situation would have lost, except for him, because he's played up against it so many times. He knows exactly what to do. And the thing I love about this is he's gone early aggression into the silver tree. So DeMusliM has no idea that this is happening. And he had to keep, I think DeMusliM was keeping his scout at home too.
We'll take a look in the center of the map. You can see the scout has managed to find its way out, so it is going to be looking for this. Now, if DeMusliM scouts this, he's going to need to react, and react swiftly. It means he might be able to go up to the castle age, but he's going to have to do it in a manner that he is focusing on producing units. He really can't just be thinking about going up and getting that Swabia. He needs to take this out. But you can see that he is moving out towards the base. We'll go into his line of sight just to get an idea of exactly what he sees. You can see that Beasty is trying to run him down here. We'll head and follow in this scout. It looks like the scout's probably going to spot this. He's got quite a large line of sight. Indeed, it does get spotted out now, so he knows the silver tree boom is happening. We'll check and see if there's a reaction coming out for DeMusliM at this point in time. You can see he's already about to click up to the castle edge.
I think he kind of rolled his eyes a little bit there. The like, esports roll of the eye.
The esports eye roll. The
as soon as he saw that, yeah, exactly. I wonder, though, we talk about the silver tree being strong. Obviously, we know that the trade, you have to get it interrupted fairly quickly. But we've talked about the relics being strong for so long. And I wonder how they compare.
The way I like to think of it is that the relics are a static amount. They're obviously a huge amount as well, 900 gold flat for the Holy Roman Empire. Whereas for the Mongols, the trade is infinite. It's constantly going up, and it continues to reap rewards throughout the game. Incredibly effective, especially the length that he is going to be traveling here. We take a look now at the traders, pulling in 111 gold each. That's absolute insanity how much that is.
And already putting the outposts down, too.
Yeah. So this is where it starts to get really serious. With these traders coming out, it's imperative that you interrupt them probably before about the 14th or 15th minute mark. So I wouldn't be surprised if DeMusliM actually looks to collect the 3 relics. I think he can do that, do it quite safely, go straight into 4 or 5 stables, and then just really look to pump out knights, lances, and get them in the enemy trade line.
It's just what situation is BC going to be when he finally gets those units on the field, because he's going to have to invest into getting the relics in first. I notice a couple more prelates in the queue, so he's going to try and snipe those right away. The Khan is still wandering around outside of these walls, so Beasty is looking for that, and he even has a horseman coming, which is a great addition. He knew about the archers, from DeMusliM, but he knew there weren't too many, and there's only 2 coming forward with this prelate. He's sitting on top of that relic and sending a second horseman along the way.
Yeah, this is pretty smart from him, because my main concern, Beasty didn't do a lot of damage with his outpost. Sure, he made his opponent drop down an outpost, get those arrow slits, but there wasn't damage done. No villager kills, not a lot of idle time. And so it means that he is realistically behind. When he goes for that age up, we saw that DeMusliM was in the second age, and Beasty hadn't even dropped down his landmark yet. So he's behind when it comes to this game. But now he's trying to even things up. You can see that DeMusliM does have that first relic, but he is looking to apply pressure towards that wall and stop any more relics coming out.
I love the fact that DeMusliM added a gate there. So even though he was being chased, he could escape, and units in this game do not follow others through the gate. You can agree or disagree with that, as it's kind of counterintuitive to me, but I've gotten used to it by now. And he was able to escape with that relic. Coming forward with another prelate, there's going to be an outpost there from Beasty already.
Beautiful timing, though, on this prelate. Just 100%. Just I love this. It's so smart. Before the outpost comes up, this is something that we saw Leenock do. He would put outposts on every single relic on this map, as we can see that he's doing here once again in the center. Coming out with another prelate here. Falling back from this position, though. What's the whole go behind this?
Yeah, and it was only 1 prelate there. There was no military at all.
But now a knight going to be coming out. You can see a lot of early horsemen already out here for Beasty. So he's going to be looking to try and keep the fight on his enemy's side of the battle. But now we see that prelate going to be looking for a bit of a defensive Wallalol. Manages to buy itself some time. We'll head back over towards that side of the screen. Prelate's got to try and make it through the gap. And you can see that the prelate probably going to be going down here. The knight's trying their best. But he is going to be able to secure this relic. Even if the prelate does go down, that relic is going to be very safe.
He just yeets it a little bit closer to the base. He just, with every dying prelate, they just hurl it a little bit closer, and he's got a gate there as well, so he should be fine to get that in. Khan sitting on the other relic, and if you're wondering about the villager count, traders are counted as economic units at the top there for Beastyqt, and look at that, 58 economic units for him, 37 for DeMusliM, and the more time that DeMusliM spends around his base with his military defending against the horsemen, the more trade Beasty is going to have behind this.
Yeah, that's exactly it. He really needs to get down to this trade line as quickly as possible. But we can see now he's securing up that third relic. So he's got 2 in the Regnitz Cathedral right now. Third one on the way back in. He'll be really happy with that, Dave.
Yeah, that's what you're working towards. And basically any matchup with the HRE is getting those 3 relics in there. You're okay with 2, but you really want 3.
And now we can see the knights coming out a little bit earlier than DeMusliM reaches the castle age. He is up, so he's going to be able to get out knights or lancers in response to this. But once we see these knights finding the gold line or the trading line, that's when the issue is really going to start here for Beastyqt. You can see these knights just completely ignoring the town center here. They're not fussed at all, but look how many traders there are.
The Silk Road over here. Oh my goodness. Mongol trade is booming right now, and Beastyqt in the third age now producing his own knights, so he should be able to theoretically defend on this side.
But it's just so hard. It is just so hard to defend against this type of attack because the knights have got so much agency. They get to choose the fight, and you have to defend it. And at the same time, they're happy to take a lot of damage because they're going to get villager kills. They're going to get economic kills, and we can now see those knights continuing to run in. We can see that at the moment, Beastyqt on 64 villagers or economic units, but that's going to continue to dwindle down, and we now see units trickling across the map. He's not even that fast when it comes to the gold. I think he's just going for the villagers at this point. You can see he's right underneath that town center. He's really sticking to this fight.
Yeah, maybe he's thinking, I'll let you have your trade, but you're not going to have any villagers behind this. So you're going to have a lot less flexibility and be stuck into defending this trade line. Still, economic units, he's 20 ahead. There's lots of traders, and the resources for Beastyqt still coming in despite the raids.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if DeMuslim's doing the right thing here. Ideally, he needs to be just killing villagers, killing traders at this point, even if he's taking military losses, but now going to be turning his attention towards that trading line. Villagers going to be under attack as well. I think this might be a good game here for Beasty. I don't know how he's going to be able to hold this position. He's on 2 military units at the moment. And you can see the trickling units coming across the map still into the base. And look at DeMusliM. He's doing fine. A good game does get called. Beastyqt taps out DeMusliM, even up the series 1-1. Little bit of a surprise there, Dave. Once again, we see the Mongols losing.
I think there was a window there, and I think DeMusliM played it perfectly. And I love the fact that he didn't go into the trade line and spent all his time chasing traders. He just sensed his opportunity, went right under the TC, tanked that fire, killed the villagers, killed the military, had the queue up behind with the relics, of course, and Beastyqt couldn't get any momentum.
And that was really it. He couldn't get that momentum. He couldn't get established. And I think that's the consequence of not doing that damage in the early game.
Yep.
If he does the damage in the early game, he delays that attack. Every minute that you delay the early game, you're delaying that attack by a minute. And the longer you delay that, I mean, realistically, another 60 seconds, Beastie would have had an extra 4 or 5 knights potentially. Could have held. He could have held. It could have been a different outcome.
Could Beastie have done anything to prevent that?
I think primarily just doing more damage. If with the Mongols, it's all about doing damage in the early game, at least looking to delay your enemy. I think that's the biggest thing is really doing that damage and delaying your enemy. But it looks like we're going to be heading into a game number 3 already. Mongolian Heights going to be coming out here. And we've got the match up. It is Rus versus Chinese. DeMusliM going with the Rus.
Is it
Hold
a
on. I think
chair
that's
problem?
Flipped. DeMuslim's already played the Rus. It's going to be Beastie on the Rus, DeMusliM on the Chinese.
No, don't assume that it's both the flags are correct because overlay guy.
Oh, that's true. We do have overlay guy here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he's nodding his head in the background.
The civilizations are correct. They were just flipped. So Beastie's going to be on the Rus, DeMusliM on the Chinese.
Perfect. Hey, I underestimated him. He's always surprising me. And DeMusliM, maybe another chair issue here.
Maybe
we need Nilly the chair engineer.
Calling all chair engineers to the gamer room. All chair engineers to the gamer room. We can see that, yeah, there's hundreds of people right now rallying towards that gamer room. But let's talk a little bit about this matchup and what we can expect. Obviously, the Rus are a very strong civilization on this map. Love to get those fishing boats out.
Yep.
On the other hand, you've got China, which have been rising up the meta, currently sitting as the highest win rate civilization.
We saw this matchup. I think Beastie had the Rus, and Leenock, who just walked by, had the Chinese, I believe.
Yeah.
In an early, was it Chinese? Was it HRE? It was HRE.
There was a lot of games, Dave.
It was HRE. I correct myself. It's fine.
We have been seeing a lot of China come out on this map, though. I recently casted
Is this not
a game.
Mongolian Heights? What map was it?
It's Mongolian Heights.
Okay.
Yeah. So I recently casted a game where we saw about 35 villagers come out for a forward Barbican.
You know what? I would love to see that.
It was quite beautiful.
Would be a treat.
We had a forward Barbican. We had a keep right next to it. We had trebuchets that were getting made from the astronomical clock tower that was right next to it as well on the front line. It was basically, one man took another man's base.
Something I've also noted, you mentioned trebuchets. I've noticed people using them a lot more here. I think people are starting to appreciate, even though the damage doesn't feel that great, the range is so insane. 16 range. You're shooting from another dimension.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times you don't even notice, like, consciously the rocks falling if they're hitting your buildings. And if you can protect them with the extra range Rus Springolds, it seems so strong if you have a big ball.
It is something to always keep your eye out on,
Yeah.
and I suspect we're going to be seeing more of it. Already we've continued to see it rising up, and it definitely seems to be an effective counter against those Rus Springolds just because of the extra range that they've got. But players now looking that they might be in the games. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourself because we are entering into game number 3 of this set today. It is DeMusliM going up against Beastyqt. DeMusliM going to be on the Chinese, Beastyqt on the Rus. The map, of course, Mongolian Heights. Bit of a hybrid map, known for its sheep and its vast plains. I don't know so much about that. It's probably a bit more hilly.
Flowing rivers,
yes.
snowy forests.
Yes. Relics, religious relics.
Ancient artifacts.
Oh, you're good at this. You've done this before.
My favorite dinosaur is the Saurus. So.
I've not heard that before. Dave, you make me laugh. But it looks like we've got ourselves a dock opening up here for Beastyqt. No surprises there. He is playing the Rus. On the other side, I'd be curious to know what DeMusliM is up to, but you can see that he is not gathering any wood at this stage, so he's not that intent on going for a water play. Something that you do occasionally see out of the Chinese players is that I guess, the wall off across one side of the river and then the dock getting placed on the other side. But obviously Beasty's the kind of guy who'd just go and make a dock on your side if you were to do that. So you got to be careful against him.
How do you counter once the fishing boats are out? How do you take care of them? How do you measure up and combat that eco advantage?
It's really difficult, especially in this situation, because there's going to be a great window here for Beasty. So his window is going to exist before DeMusliM is able to catch up. So normally that's going to be ending at about the 15-minute mark, so expect him to attack before then, probably in the castle age. DeMusliM, on the other hand, he's playing the Chinese, and when it comes to the Chinese, they absolutely love making villages. They've got the Song Dynasty, which increases, or reduces rather, the time it takes to make villages. On top of that, a second town centre is always going to be welcome. So my suspicion is that we might see that, but already we see the gold mine coming down, or the mining camp on the gold mine. That to me indicates that we're probably going to be seeing an early Song Dynasty out of DeMusliM.
Do you put the Barbican on the river?
I think that's definitely a wise approach. But it depends how much you really want to contest the river. In this position, I wouldn't be surprised if DeMusliM looks for a late game play, but going up against the Rus, it's important to remember that they do quite effectively counter the Chinese in the late game, especially with the most recent nerfs to the astronomical clock tower.
Okay, so we see Beasty right now, and he is killing the deer, so he's looking for that extra bounty. DeMusliM, did he go for that extra scout?
We'll take a look from his perspective just to get an idea on what his line of sight looks like. I think he might just have one. No, there's the second scout over on the hunt down towards the south of the map. So he's going to be going for a forward Barbican by the looks of it. We can see it's going to be coming down on the crossing. So he's being aggressive with it. And I think this is definitely the right choice, Dave.
And he doesn't know where the dock is from Beasty, right?
He'll have a pretty good idea that it's there.
Well, he will when it's... Okay, yeah, confirmed.
Yes.
He knows exactly where the dock is. Confirmed. I mean, the fishing boats don't have to drop off to the dock with the roost, so Beasty can simply sail these away further down the river. But this is going to be annoying for him. He can't freely cross this anymore, and his dock foundation is going to be under fire.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of a drive-by just happening there. I'm not sure if you spotted that, Dave, but a villager started its animation and managed to kill the deer, or rather kill the sheep. And the sheep had already begun to move away from it, probably about 6 to 7 meters. But now going to be walling up that central crossing as you would expect. And looking to try and be as annoying as he possibly can. But keep in mind, the fishing ships are just going to migrate further up the river. As you mentioned, he's not fussed about this.
Yeah, this Barbican is basically for map control. If you kill a boat here, that's fairly sloppy on Beasty's part. So I don't think that's ever going to happen. And DeMusliM will be looking for that second landmark so he can make his way up to the Song Dynasty. Oh my god, he's got a lot of sheep.
Yeah, he is a big fan of the sheep. Some people often confuse DeMusliM with the New Zealanders, or the... I guess in the UK, they joke about it in a different part of the world. For us in Australia, we always joke that the New Zealanders enjoy a little bit of...
like
the Welsh? The Welsh. I think it's the Welsh, yes. I guess, you know what, he's from the UK. So sometimes DeMusliM, people think he might be Welsh. That is not the case, though. He's from the true blue.
There are lots of sheep in his economy. More sheep than people, actually. At the actually, yes, there are more sheep than people.
Yeah, that's always a good ratio to have. But yeah, you can see he's gathering up plenty of that gold. So I'd be curious to see where he's going to be spending this. We can see he's already got the wheelbarrow for Chinese, and that's a bit of a discussion point. The early wheelbarrow on the Chinese. So the Chinese, obviously, they earn taxes through their villagers dropping off resources at their resource locations. With the wheelbarrow, you're doing that less and less. As a result, it means you earn less tax. So there's a bit of an ongoing discussion as to whether the wheelbarrow is actually good for the Chinese in the early game, or whether it's best to save it until you start farming up. But DeMusliM, I guess, deciding that it is indeed worth it.
Yep, and those fishing boats are going to the other side. BC is spreading these out, and I love the idea of spreading them all along the shoreline. You're getting the fish, you don't have to drop them off anyway, and you're getting so much scouting and information from all of these. Plus, it's harder for them to all die at once.
Yeah, it's a really smart move. If we take a look from Beasty's line of sight right now, you're going to see he's got complete coverage of this river. He knows exactly what is going on at every single position here. So really well played from him. And now look at these walls coming up, actually stopping the walls from his enemy. So yeah, really quick walls coming out. So you might be wondering, what's this all about? Well, typically Beastie is going to be looking to get up to that castle age, probably look to snag a couple relics on the enemy side of the map. And if we have a look at the map, you'll be able to see that there are plenty of relics over that side. So 2 relics, it looks like we've got 2 relics that have spawned over on the side there for DeMusliM, whereas 3 relics have spawned in the middle for Beastie. So he's probably going to be looking to get his 4th relic up on that top side.
Yeah, and great walls over there to allow him to do that. The economy right now is still 35 against 25. Remember, the fishing boats are calculated under the economic unit. Song Dynasty has been reached there from DeMusliM, so his town centers are going to start producing faster, and he's on stone right now, so he's getting ready for that second one.
Yeah, so second town center and a Song Dynasty. This is the equivalent of 3 normal town centers. Super duper fast. Obviously, it's up against the rules, so he's only going to be on that 1 town center, but there are fishing boats. But the window now starts to extend for Beastyqt. He can attack a little bit later, just because going up against those 2 TCs, Song Dynasty, it's going to take longer for DeMusliM to actually reap the rewards of that.
I love how he keeps creating fishing ships here. He's creating, and he knows that DeMusliM doesn't have an answer, and he's going to have to allocate all his resources into the Dynasty, into getting extra town centers down, so he's going to get that food eco up. And look at the amount of food he has in the bank. 1,400 right now, dips down to 1,200. He's gathering the gold, and he's about to go up to the castle age. And like you said, once he's there, going to start gathering the relics, going to start getting some military control, and trying to kill off some of this eco before DeMusliM builds to that critical amount.
Yeah, so we can see that it is going to be the high trade house that we've got. This is the second high trade house that we've seen. So Beastyqt taking a lot of inspiration here from TheMista. TheMista also used this landmark in the last in
He didn't realize
game.
He was losing some gold off it, though.
He didn't know. He thought that they stacked. Or actually, he thought that the high trade house would overrule the
hunting cabin.
The hunting cabin, but it obviously wasn't the case. Now, what would you rate this hunting cabin out of 10? If you were going to do an assessment here and you were going to say, you know, how good is this high trade house? What would you say?
I don't know. 6.
A 6? That's a pretty liberal 6, Dave.
Yeah.
It's barely covering any trees. I'd be surprised if he's getting more than 50 gold.
I counted like 6 trees it's covering, so.
Well, not a bad high trade house, 122 gold a minute.
Yeah.
So basically, it's like a free relic that he's got there. So not bad. I'll give you a 6. I'll go with a 6 as well. It seems pretty decent, actually. But there's plenty of resources for him to gather here. I'm curious to know whether he's going to be looking to get that monastery out early as well. Typically, it's the rules.
To get his, I just always assume that they're going to have them anyway, right?
Yeah, it's something that you just sort of assume, but it doesn't look like it's going to be the case. You can see that the barracks are getting dropped down. He is going absolutely ham with this. So remember, I talked about that window, about that timing. He knows that DeMusliM is going to be going for that town center Song Dynasty. He knows it's going to take a long time.
The Great Wall of China.
The Great Wall of China is indeed coming here. But now the men-at-arms are beginning to move out across the map. Going to be chasing down that wolf, killing it. But we're going to see a lot of men-at-arms coming out here, Dave.
Yeah, and I like the idea of him like pushing with men-at-arms. As soon as there's a force there from DeMusliM that can follow the men-at-arms back, just convert your ships to help him out against that force. You have like this very versatile army all the way along that river spread out in these fishing boats, and at any point you can just convert them to help you out.
Yeah, it's super smart. But now we actually see he is dropping down a monastery, also dropping down a blacksmith. It looks like he's getting through +1 ranged armor at this point in time, also getting through that lumber or that double broadaxe. And wheelbarrow also in the queue. So he's getting all of his economic upgrades. Castle Age now coming through for DeMusliM, going up with the astronomical clock tower. Do you think we might see some nest of bees here?
I believe we will see many nest of bees. It depends on the, obviously, the army position early, whether we see them, but later on in the game, I would assume that they will make their way into it. Barbican basically blocking off that front side. Right side, is it fully walled now? I think it should be. And DeMusliM.
Look at his stone count. Look at DeMuslim's stone count right now. He's going for a defensive keep. This is so smart. One of the things I mentioned is that you've got this window to attack your enemy and to kill him, and Beastyqt knows this. That's why we see these men-at-arms coming out. DeMusliM realizes that, and he says, what can I do to stop this from happening? Because, to be honest, there's really not a lot he can do.
Where do you put it, though? Where do you put it? Because there's always going to be some exposed area of your eco.
Correct. It can be really difficult to know, but I guess probably just right smack bang in the middle of your base, hey? probably on your farming economy.
On the wood line,
yeah,
maybe?
wood line
at the
and
front
farming.
there?
Yeah, I
And
think
then you cover your gold if you put it there as well, kind of. But then you can go to the other side of the wood line and the stones at the back, too.
yeah, it can be really difficult to know. But now we see those men-at-arms coming out. He is empowering, supervising both of these barracks, and you can see that the men-at-arms are going to be coming straight for those Imperial officials. They managed to get inside that town center to safety, but keep in mind, they're not going to be buffing up those barracks now. So it means that they're going to be getting out less and less units. He needs those Imperial officials out, targeting down the barracks, but we can see that the men-at-arms just being so annoying in the wood line here. He's almost up to that 800 stone. Once he gets it, he's going to be very happy. We'll be able to drop down that castle, but until then, he's going to be fumbling a little bit.
Can I just point out that DeMusliM is still taking those sheep?
No way. Is he still on the sheep?
He was still on the sheep at the mill at the back. He gathered so many at the beginning. That was really great from him. He didn't have to transfer into anything else.
Wow.
Look at that.
Yeah, not even on berries yet.
He's on stone with a lot, though, and he's waiting for that keep. He held there with the palace guards, and he's waiting for the keep. And Beasty is kind of thinking, ooh, how do I do that damage early? He's got the warrior monk sitting near that relic. He's bringing in another one. Now, relics count up on our overlay here as soon as the monks pick them up. So he only has one inside at the moment, but he should get the others back. And nice little raid on the wood line.
Now we do see that keep coming up. I'm starting to worry about Beasty's position here. Now, keep in mind, Beasty, he wins in the late game, but that's in the ultra late game. There's a window here for DeMusliM. If he's able to hold on, if he's able to build his villager count up, we can see he's struggling a little bit at the moment, losing villagers.
Oh, jeez.
Ooh, that's a big stone wall coming in right now.
Are we going to see the gate?
We could potentially see the gate coming up, but you can see the first nest of bees is coming out, but I'm starting to be a little bit worried here for Beasty. DeMusliM, he hasn't pulled ahead in economy as you would expect him to at this point, but he's in a position to do so. And there's definitely a window opening for him for about the 23, 26-minute mark, where he's going to be able to push into Beasty's base before Beasty can really get a good foothold in the Imperial Age, and he's going to be able to punish him.
I see a horse archer coming out, actually, from Beasty.
In 2022, a horse archer?
Horse archers coming out. I mean, he found great success for them in that game against Leenock when it went really late. He was running around the eco, raiding with them. I think that's the only time we've seen them in this tournament. He killed a lot of villagers there, so maybe he just wants the mobility. He knows he can always fall back behind these gates if he needs to. That he's set up on the crossing. So DeMusliM is kind of at the moment stuck on his side. And if he can keep his army running around there, he can keep them there for a long time.
Yeah, it's a really good point. Now, I've got to say these walls here are a little bit interesting from DeMusliM, that he's gone, you know, right towards the east or the western side of his base. It's just such a large wall as well. We can see he's starting to move out. Look how many villagers he's still got on stone.
Yep.
He's very intent on playing this late.
Yeah, and at this point, I don't know if it's for a keep or for more stone walls.
I think it could probably be for more stone walls. I wouldn't be surprised if he looks
How did these ones get across here? I guess the Barbican at the middle. Yeah, he broke through the wall at the middle, and the palace guards are in to the economy here from BC, and BC doesn't really have anything. He has to turn around with his entire army, even bringing the warrior monks, so maybe thinking about some Wallow defense as well. There's nothing over here by the gold. The palace guards are looking for villager picks, and they're going to find them.
There are so many villagers here getting absolutely melted by these palace guards. And you can see that after he's done with these ones, he's going to be able to move towards that hunting cabin where there's probably another 6 or 7 villagers. We can see the villager count now beginning to dwindle. 52 for Beasty. Looks like he's going to be going down towards that 50 mark and now finds the other villagers. There is a Wallow that's going to be coming in defensively, but doesn't look like it's going to do too much, Dave.
Yeah, that was a few pixels away, I think.
Swing and a miss.
Yes, swing and a miss indeed. And he's going into crossbow, so he should be able to defend this. He's bringing in another relic there. He actually went for that second monastery, it looks like. And Beastyqt will clear this up, but DeMusliM, look at the eco now. 74 for him, 49 for Beasty.
And we can see that DeMusliM behind this is trying to close the gaps. So down towards the south, you can see a stone wall was going up, but it has been closed off. We've got ourselves a little bit of a keep off. You can see a keep coming up on the left side of your screen. At the same time, in the middle of your screen, a keep coming down from DeMusliM. So there are 2 keeps here in this position. Beasty knows that he cannot lose this position. This is really his only way through.
And this is going to get denied for the time being. There's also a ship there. The nest of bees are firing, so the ship will sink. But Beasty will keep that from going up for a little while longer. And where was the other keep you were talking about?
Just to the left, right there.
Ah.
So it's a keep coming up from Beastyqt. So he's going to be pretty happy with that position. It's a great foothold that he's got on this side of the river, and he does deny those stone walls from coming up. We saw that DeMusliM was looking to stonewall that position, but Beasty just being so reactive, spots that out, stops it in its tracks, and now the push looks to be coming through for Beastyqt. He's sitting on 33 military population at the moment. He's going to be pretty happy with that. The Springald also out here as well. Could be firing across the river if he's not careful.
Large villager count for DeMusliM, but the income rates, other than food, aren't really there yet to start spamming. So I think there might be a window here for Beasty to push across.
Yeah, keep in mind he's got those 5 relics as well as the sacred site towards the north. So these are going to be constantly trickling in those gold. So he's going to be pretty happy with that. But yeah, 30 villager difference at this point in time. The main issue that he's going to have is this immediate future. So ideally, probably needs to be a little bit careful in the next 4 or 5 minutes.
There might be exposed eco over there on the left side for DeMusliM as well. He walled off, but oh, baby. That's a lot of villagers.
That is a huge amount of villagers. Now, I don't know whether he knows about this keep. I suspect he probably would. But now, keep in mind, he's playing the Chinese. Those villagers...
It's already up.
Yeah. You blink and you miss it. It's up already. Don't even try.
It might get one. I don't know.
Yeah, let's see if he gets that one. It looks like one villager did go down. Second villager, yeah, I think he got one villager before that keep went up. So a very decent spot. So DeMusliM managing to seal up this position here, keeps his berries safe. All sacred sites now being taken by Beastyqt. Now keep in mind we've got that sacred site tracker in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, but at the same time it's not really that relevant on a map like this. I suspect DeMuslim's probably going to look to break this.
Boiling oil and 2 trebuchets from Beasty on the way.
This is good. I mean, he knows his win condition, and this is definitely it. He's up against trebuchets already, so DeMusliM has one out on the field, getting grease axles through as well. But yeah, this is a pretty smart move coming out from Beasty to go for the boiling oil as well as the trebuchets himself.
We're reaching that stage, though, where DeMuslim's going to have the eco to start spamming units.
Yeah, I guess keep in mind Beasty's got those 5 relics as well as the 2 sacred sites. So he's up 700 gold. So realistically, probably about 16.5 villagers, maybe 17 villagers there
I don't
as
know.
well.
I'm doing the math. It's not enough.
So yeah, about 74 villagers to 91. And keep in mind DeMuslim's on 2 town centers. He's going to be going non-stop until he hits 130 villagers, I suspect.
On more stone. He's on more stone. He keeps mining stone. He's got another 1,000 in the bank after just dropping a keep. And I suspect he's going to try and push forward once again through that crossing. Maybe get a keep up on Beasty's side.
Yeah, this could be actually a pretty decent move. There are berries over there, and that's exactly what it looks like is going to happen. He's going for a forward keep, manages to hit the wood line here as well as those berries. Now, keep in mind, there is a siege workshop that we could potentially see a trebuchet coming out of if he's not careful. The keep's going to go down, and it looks like he's population blocked. It was a Springald that's going to be coming up, but this push, very, very smart, but a lot of units out here for him. And it looks like the camera was being attacked there by the Nest of Bees. I'm not sure if you saw that, but they were firing up towards this position. Let's see. Yeah, you can see the way that they're firing out, just so much gunpowder.
Palace Guards now pushing into Beasty's base. He's still holding on to that one keep. I wonder where those trebuchets are that he was producing. He did lose that Springald on the hill. I think the Trebs might have been attacking the first keep from DeMusliM, but the Palace Guards are now into the woodline. There's no counter here for Beasty. There's no defense.
This is really bad for Beasty. Every single villager that he loses here, his window is slowly but steadily closing. DeMusliM beginning to really climb up on villager count. He's up to 100 villagers now. Beasty only sitting on 52 villagers. There is double the villager count now for DeMusliM. He's looking incredibly strong, Dave.
And there's the trebuchets. Our wonderful observer Vodka has found them, but they're all alone over there. They might be able to take out one keep, but DeMusliM almost has enough stone for another one.
Yeah, this guy's got so much stone, it's absolutely ridiculous. You can see he's managed to go through that 3,000 stone with a couple of villagers on it. Incredible stuff coming out from him, and now looking to continue pushing into the base of his opponent, looking for more villagers, hunting for more villagers, but not really finding anything just yet. Another keep coming down, Dave. Is this good game?
I think it might be. There's no eco. There's going to be no eco, especially once those relics get denied out of those monasteries. BC is going to struggle so hard, but he is trying to push back right now. He's got crossbows, he's got Springalds, he's even got a warrior monk. It looks like mixed in there, but he needs to back up now that the keep is complete. Keep still being repaired in the middle there for DeMusliM, so really great stuff. It's hard to keep your attention on all these important areas when so much is going on, but DeMusliM is defending so well.
Yeah, this is incredible stuff from him. Now, keep in mind, Beasty has got 41 military population at the moment. Only 2 trebuchets, and they're on the other side of the map trying to take out the keep. He's trying his best to hold on here, but it's just a really difficult position for him now.
Beasty looking for different places to go. He's trying to put another wooden fortress down on that gold from DeMusliM. He's trying to push, but he can't. He doesn't have any military forward. He needs it all in defense. The trebuchets attacking that castle in the middle, I think, have gone down. Oh, they're still attacking, but DeMusliM is still repairing, but still, that's not doing any eco damage to him. Meanwhile, Beasty losing villagers throughout this whole process.
Yeah, he's down on 50 villagers at the moment. Meanwhile, DeMusliM, 114. He's looking incredibly strong, up 60 population space at the moment. I don't know how Beasty's going to be able to come back from this. I would be very impressed if he does.
There go the Trebs. And I think that's just a momentum killer, right? That's the only place you were really pushing other than the villagers over on the left side of DeMusliM's base. You didn't have any units in there raiding, and you've got 2 keeps on your face. And DeMusliM, I feel like he's on the verge of placing another one.
Yeah, it's really tough for him, but now we see that keep continuing to be repaired. A lot of idle villagers out here in the middle. He's going to be looking for a secondary stone source because he's mined out all the stone on his side of the map.
Put a keep right on those monasteries.
Interestingly, Beastyqt has gone for 2 monasteries. So I'm curious, if we could click on one of those monasteries, I want to see how many relics they actually hold inside them. So they do hold up to 20 relics. So a little bit of a misplay coming out from Beasty here.
He's playing too much HRE, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Played too much HRE, thinking only the 3 are going to fit inside. And the villagers, I think, are looping around to the right there. DeMusliM has 1,300 stone. I would love to see it keep inside of Beasty's base. Beasty had to pull his army back. He knew that there wasn't any chance that he could fight against those double keep position at the front with the Springolds behind, and he loses another Springold there.
Yeah, it looks like up towards the north, DeMusliM is opening up that position, going to allow him to come through, and we see the fishing boats out here in the middle of the map are going to be going down incredibly quickly, and another keep coming down
on
here.
The shoreline. He's playing safe.
He's playing very safe with it, but it does open up that position for him, allows him to then move in towards this other side of the map. It's going to secure up that gold mine for him as well. He's going to be really happy with this.
Okay, so I thought the eco was better for Beasty than it was until he lost those boats, and now he's at 35.
Yeah, it's not looking good, is it? DeMusliM triple his villager count right now. I guess he does have the 5 relics going for him, Dave? Maybe?
Okay, you can do the math on that one.
It's still not enough. He'd need 50 relics right now.
It was looking so good for him early. I mean, he had a lot of boats out on the water gathering fish. He had a great food eco. He was getting the relics, and then he could just never do anything with the push. Maybe you have to question if he went in a little too hard with the men-at-arms at the beginning of Castle Age.
Yeah, I think it's just such a smart move by DeMusliM, though, to go and identify that his win condition can be protected by that keep. He gets the keep up, and then from there, it's impossible for Beastyqt to push in on that position. DeMuslim's just got so much going from it, gives him so much value. There's nothing that Beastyqt can do in response to it.
Yep. Great stuff, and I think we're just about to reach the moment where Beasty figures out that there's not much more he can do, but he is still trying to push back. He's got 3 trebuchets here.
It is
He
Beasty.
still has the relics. He still has crossbows to defend. He hasn't been throwing away units whatsoever, and he's got that sacred site over on the left side, so he has a reason for some hope. It's just double population for DeMusliM.
And triple villager count. It's never pretty when you're down that many villagers, but yeah, this is a very tough position for Beastyqt. I would be surprised. He'd need to pull a rabbit out of his at this point. It's absolutely wild stuff.
And it's not even like, oh, go for the landmark snipe. No, it's China.
Yeah, there's so many landmarks.
Yeah.
It's ludicrous. And even if they're, even if you did go for the landmark snipe, they just put down 17 keeps right next to their landmarks and keep them nice and safe. A little bit of progress being made here in the middle.
Yeah, he's got, what, 4 trebuchets now?
Yeah.
And he continues to produce. Like, the production queue for Beasty actually looks similar to the production queue from DeMusliM.
My fear is that in this position, DeMuslim's very easily able to go to Imperial Age, get those elite upgrades for his Palace Guards, and just completely steamroll over Beasty. And Beasty's invested heavily in trebuchets to clear out these keeps. And we do see that the trebuchets have cleared out 2 keeps in this position. He's going to be able to move forward, look to potentially clear out that 3rd keep in the middle of the map, maybe even the Barbican. But I just feel like DeMuslim's buying himself so much time here.
It felt like he had to make a transition there because the progress completely stalled out. Maybe he was dropping farms or something, building up his food economy a little bit, or reallocating his villagers because he's got so many, but the income still seemed low for quite a long time. And yeah, there's a big portion of the farming eco for him, and that income is going to begin to climb. He's starting to bank resources, maybe thinking about the next stage, definitely thinking about production. And Beasty, 32 economic units. And 5 relics, because I know you're going to mention it.
He's got the 5 relics. He's got the Sacred Site as well. So technically that's 600 gold a minute that's coming in, but it's just nowhere near what he needs right now. DeMuslim sitting on that perfect 130 villages. Doesn't really need to go much higher than that. Obviously, he can. But this is shaping up to look like another victory for China. We continue to see, you know, initially people looked at China and they said it's a small sample size.
Yep.
Sure, they've got 6 wins, 0 losses, but it's a small sample size. But now we start to see China more and more maps they're taking over, they're taking control. And you've got a matchup here where Beastyqt looked like he was going to be coming into this as a clear favorite. And yet DeMuslim still manages to do it.
I like the confidence he has in the keeps. Like, he gets the stone in the bank, and then he knows if I really need one, it's going up.
Yeah.
You know, like, if I need to push forward, it's going up. Doesn't matter if he has military there, if he's attacking me, it goes up so quickly.
Yeah, they really do go up quickly, but it looks like Imperial going to be coming through any second now. You can see he's up to 2367 food. He's managing to spend just a little bit. He's got a couple of Palace Guards in queue. Nothing too serious, but Imperial Age about to be coming through. I expect we'll see a Spirit Way being dropped down very shortly. So we'll make sure we keep an eye on DeMuslim's perspective, and indeed it does look like a Spirit Way is going down towards the center of his base.
He's found the way, and it is through the spirits.
It is through the spirit.
Spirits of his ancestors, perhaps.
Are we able to get a POV look at DeMuslim and exactly what he sees right now, because there's so much going on for him? We can see that there's plenty of line of sight up towards the north side, but really not much going on towards Beasty's position. He doesn't really know what's going on that side. He probably doesn't know how much economic damage he's done. The big thing for him is that, you know, Beasty could be on 100 villages, he could be on 30. And now we see inside the mind of DeMuslim here, no face cam, but I assure you it is his position. We see the university going down, trebuchets moving out as well. What kind of upgrades is he doing? What's he going, Dave? What's he doing? Oh, we saw it. It looks like elite Palace Guards as well as the Palace Guard upgrade, and probably elite army tactics as well. This is a big timing push.
It's something I've noticed with his games. I don't know if it's because he enjoys playing safe and playing like one step at a time, or maybe the game sense is a little bit off, but when he's in a leading position, it oftentimes, like, the momentum just completely stalls out for him. You know, it takes another 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes to finish off the game.
Yep.
When he's ahead by 80 villagers.
Yeah.
And part of that could be a conscious decision.
Yep.
To, you know, let's eliminate any, no, I'm saying this, let's eliminate any chance that I could lose. Can you blame him for that after the last set we cast with him?
Yeah, look, after playing against TheMista, it's probably a good idea that he does that. But
probably.
You can see now these Palace Guards just doing so much work in the base of Beasty. He's trying to hold on here, but not having too much luck. He's got a couple of crossbows in here, but once again, that villager count down to 36 villagers. DeMuslim is 4 times, quite literally 4 times. 36 times 2, it's 72. 72 times 2, that's 144. He's 4 times the amount of villagers right now.
Okay, great math. And that's an annoying mangonel, actually. Right on there on the gold. I mean, he won't mind losing those villagers. Probably needs the pop space any minute now. As Beasty still harasses over there. That other sacred site will be denied, and I believe the monastery's completely down now, and Beasty...
Was he sending villagers to go kill that mangonel? If we take a look up towards the north, indeed he is.
Yes,
a couple
he
of
is.
villagers going to say g'day. That's how we say g'day over in Australia. But yeah, fortunately, it looks like most of his villagers going to survive. He's on 130.
Where's Beasty's army?
What army?
He's got 70 military population. It's all in siege.
It's classic Beasty style. It's all in siege. A couple of crossbows, 4 trebuchets, because why not? But I mean, that's part of the issues when you're playing up against keeps or a defensive style is that you've got to make trebuchet. They take up military space, whereas the keep doesn't take up any space other than the physical space that's on the ground.
I like the play safe approach. I like it in tournaments a lot. I'm itching because it feels like this game could have been over a while ago from DeMusliM, but he's building up, like we said. He's got tons of stuff in the queue, cannon coming out, palace guards, elite palace guards, like you said, coming out, and now he's decided to push in towards those trebuchet. He's taken out one. He's going to try and work on another one. The crossbows are still there from Beasty, along with about 1,000 dead deer in his base that he's never going to be able to take. And there's the rest of the army there from DeMusliM, waiting to cross the river and push across.
DeMuslim's doing the right thing. You can see he's got 2 bombards in queue. Also pyrotechnics coming through, but 10 palace guards now. He pops that number up to 12. So doing the right thing. Ideally in this position, you want to be adding in as many barracks as possible, getting out all of those palace guards, and you just want to be flooding palace guards into your enemy base, finding wood lines, finding gold mines, stone mines, anywhere you can find, and just be looking to kill those villages.
Beasty's going up in pop. He keeps going up in pop. I noticed because I keep noticing getting housed a bazillion times in a row on the right side there, but he's also finally reached the last bounty level.
Yeah, that's a great point. So when you do go for the high trade house, it is always something to keep in mind that you're going to be able to hit that last bounty level. It's going to take time to get there, but eventually you'll work towards it. But look at this mass starting to build up for Beasty. DeMuslim's got to be careful here. You know, I haven't mentioned my shoe today, but it feels like a position that I probably could mention my shoe. But I'm kind of scared of doing it, Dave, because Beasty's not out of it. I mean, you see an esports head shake coming in just there.
Because this seems like a stretch to me.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, you're really trying to. You're really trying. Oh, I'm gonna let you run with it. Go. How's he gonna come back in this game?
Mangonels.
Mangonels.
I mean, there's too many palace guards. It's just not possible. It's just not possible. I can't see any possible way that he's back into this game.
That was the caster in you.
It really was. It really was.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this is such a difficult position, and Beasty there with a classic esports mouth rub. Looks like it might be a good game getting called any second. He's not feeling comfortable. You see those, he's got so many Springles. Look at all the Springles. What are these Springles out here doing? Nothing?
I guess he was expecting like a heavy siege follow-up, or maybe Springles were the only thing that he could make. I mean, he does have a lot of gold in the bank.
He's got a lot of gold in the bank, but yeah, all these Springles coming out. Now we see bombards. Good game does get called. DeMusliM goes 2-1. Another victory for China. It took a little bit longer than we would have liked, but at the end of the day, DeMusliM plays it safe. And he goes through to the final game potentially.
Well, he started defensively. He ended defensively. It just took him a little bit of time to get across to Beasty's side, and then, of course, taking him more time to finish him off. Beasty, I think, fully realizing the eco difference there, looking at his villager count, he has to assume DeMuslim's over 100. He saw him get to the Imperial Age. He saw the amount of keeps that he had. He knew it was going to be tough, but he still gave it a try.
There was a lot of keeps that game. I'm impressed from the performance that we saw from DeMusliM.
Yep.
He played it really well. He covered his bases.
Yep.
Typically, in that matchup, there is that window that happens early castle where you can get punished. So here we can see behind the scenes right now some beautiful paint coming through. So we've got Beasty. So we've got this is an insight.
Okay, so French is gone.
So
okay.
This is great. I would love to know whose screen this is right now. Is that Beasty's screen? I feel like that could be Beasty's screen. Oh, gosh, that's so beautiful, isn't it?
That's probably Nilly's screen.
He is quite literally the paint god right there. That was very, very beautiful. Just like
these are,
Peepo G
remember,
in the chat right now.
These are nothing but the most professional gamers here, all right? They do this for a living.
Oh, God.
They take it seriously here. Yep.
That was good. That was good. I'm glad we got to see inside the mind right there of the genius. So he's down 2-1 in this set. He needs something. We'll take a look at what maps he's got available. We're not going to have a look at his screen. So he's got Altai. Altai's going to be the pick. So coming into this, he's still got a few civilizations left. Altai is indeed the map. What does he go for here? What are you thinking, Dave?
So Beasty. Okay. Chinese is already gone from DeMusliM. So I don't know if you want to go... I think you might be going Abbasid here.
I think Beasty plays Chinese. There's no Holy Roman Empire.
Yeah.
It's good against English. It's good against Mongols.
Okay. Is it good against
It's
Abbasid?
Chinese.
Because DeMusliM is going Abbasid.
Not really, no.
Saw that yesterday.
Yeah, it's not that good against Abbasid. Abbasid have got the same timing that they can abuse as Rus.
He did play this exact matchup yesterday, though, so he does have a like really relevant experience.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a good point. I really wouldn't be surprised if we see the exact same thing coming out for Beastie. I suspect we'll see 2 TC Song Dynasty, Fast Castle with a keep. And he'll just play that exact same style that he lost to in that last game.
Yep.
And he wins.
Yep. Also, it feels like the resource spawns, the disparity on Altai doesn't matter as much with Chinese because you can kind of use that Barbican as like a defensive structure.
Yep.
If you have a forward wood line, or God forbid, 2 forward wood lines like we see a lot.
Not too reliant on wood either. Very happy to just be making gold food units. We see there might be a little bit of a break coming through right now. Perhaps a little bit of a bathroom break, I suspect.
But sprinting past us.
Must have been urgent.
It's an emergency.
Hopefully no exposure to any lactose products.
It's an emergency. No, he's just shaking his hands.
All right.
He's fine.
He's good. He's good. Restroom. Okay. All right. It's a restroom break. We have confirmed. He's looking good, though. He's looking good. He's up 2-1 in this set.
He's got to be happy, man.
It's a relatively good matchup for him. I think both players coming into this is, in my opinion, it's probably going to be a matchup of skill.
Yeah.
I do suspect Beastie's probably going to be looking for that keep in the early game, like we saw. And the question is going to be whether a throw comes in from DeMusliM.
Yeah.
Now, he's been looking very solid today. We haven't seen any throws, methodical play out of him. So we could see 2, maybe even 3 town centers coming out of him. That is always an option. But I suspect we're going to be seeing a lot of siege, probably in the way of Mangonels and Rams.
Remember, the only person that Beastie lost to this tournament was MarineLorD, who's 4-0. He took out TheMista. Who else said he won against? He took out Leenock, and then he won against, was it VortiX?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So a lot of good players. All players with 2 wins.
Yeah. Yeah, these guys are top-notch.
Yep.
Higher strategy than 7 out of 10.
Yeah, well, we saw what that gets you.
It's not pretty. It's not pretty. But shouldn't be too long until the game begins now. Coming into this game, I mean, what's your expectation with regard to the time? What are you going to go for? You're going to do a little prediction here for us, Dave?
Time?
Yeah. It's going to be a 30-minute game, 27-minute game?
Oh, God.
16-minute game? Dave is massaging his...
I have a big head, all right? I need to cool it down when I'm thinking too hard. 31 minutes.
31 minutes. You've heard it here first, folks. 31 minutes is what we've got. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 4. DeMusliM versus Beastyqt. Spawning in on the west side of the map, which is the best side of the map, Dave. It is going to be DeMusliM in the color blue, playing as the Abbasid dynasty. He's up 2-1 in this series. We are on match point. If he is victorious, he's going to be heading into the group stage, or rather the final stage. Looking pretty handsome, looking pretty good. But on the other side of the map, in the color red, playing the Chinese, it is, of course, going to be Beastyqt.
And Beastyqt played this exact same matchup yesterday against TheMista, and TheMista went for 2 TC, and then he went siege push, and eventually got to a position where he kind of had to try and juggle the ball.
This is how our pros prepare. This is, you know, a lot of people...
In between chair rebuilding duties.
Yes.
That's what Nilly's doing, and that's what Viper's doing when he's not losing sets. Juggling the ball. He just gave me a dirty look. Uh-oh.
Okay, focus on the game. Focus on the game. All right, we've got this. We've got this. Okay, so DeMusliM opening up with the mill on his berries. Looks like it's just going to be the 1 scout opening from him. We'll check in with Beastyqt. We'll see exactly how many scouts he's opening with at the moment. But keep in mind, this is match point right now for DeMusliM. Beastyqt needs to win this game.
Yes, he does, and I think he might be a little bit surprised to be down 1-2 against DeMusliM. Like, he's one of the favorites going into this, and DeMusliM has had, granted, he had a really clean set yesterday. He took it 3-0 over LucifoN, I believe, and it was pretty convincing, either LucifoN or VortiX. You're checking it right now.
I might be checking it right now.
I think it was LucifoN.
Indeed, it was LucifoN, 3-0, yes.
Yeah, and it looked really convincing, but the sets before that, the one against MarineLorD, not the greatest. The one against TheMista, iconic, probably going to go down in history, remembered for all time in Age of Empires 4, that set.
Yes.
He's recovered himself really, really well.
He has, and it's tough to come back from something like that. It's
Yeah.
demoralizing, not just for the day, but for the entire tournament, because it's hard to get yourself in that new mindset. But
Yep.
he's done well. He's looking pretty good, but it does look like he's going to have that age up coming through shortly. You can see at the moment, no research in queue for him, but now going to be clicking up to that next age. We'll take a look. I think the resources might be switched around. We'll double check.
I love that. He just pushes it a little further away. Come on, dear. Go, go. Come on. Go. There we go. And now you're dead.
Much further away from the mill than what you would like. But I'll just double check, because I've got a feeling that our resources here might be flipped around at the top. I suspect that Beastyqt's resources are actually on DeMusliM's side and vice versa. It does look like it has been switched up. Thank you very much, Overlay Guy, as he gives us a lovely smile, doesn't he, Dave?
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you noticed that. It would have taken me another 2 minutes.
Looks like we've got a bit of a stone opening here. Won't be the only stone in the house, it seems. DeMusliM going to be looking for that second town center. And a forward Barbican coming through. I say forward Barbican, but how forward is he going to go here? He's really going quite forward. He's going to get picked up by a wolf here. Got to be careful. There's many wolves on this trail. He's going very aggressive with this Barbican.
Yeah, and
more villagers coming out. That's four villagers.
If you put it on the gold, that's not going to...
I mean, he's just going to go to his other gold. He's got a second gold back
exactly.
there.
And he is indeed going to put it on the gold. I thought there might be potential to go all the way around and put it on the berries.
Jeez, you're a very optimistic individual, aren't you, Dave?
Right there.
You could do it. You could do it. You could probably
cut off the fruit.
Is there a sweet
I guess
spot?
there is a berry, another patch of berries underneath the Barbican, so it's not the worst thing.
There might be a sweet spot between the berries and the gold. If we take a little bit of a look down, if we can scroll down a little bit more vodka, just over. Oh yeah, there is too. Look at that right there.
That's where I would have put it.
Oh, you're a free thinker.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. But now it looks like he's spotted out. No, he hasn't actually spotted out a Barbican yet. It's just part of the build order.
He just doesn't need gold.
Doesn't need gold. So
which is exactly why I wouldn't put my Barbican there.
Oh, geez. But now, keep in mind, DeMusliM here, typically he is going to be wanting to go for a fast town center into a fast castle. So by doing this, you're at least delaying that a little bit, but he's probably just going to go over to his other gold. I think it's unlikely that he's going to be really playing too much into Age 2, but this is definitely not what I expected out from Beasty.
And Beasty going for another outpost there. He's actually, I think he looped a villager around maybe to the south as well, so trying to provide a little bit of pressure, and maybe if he gets an outpost on the berries as well, that could be really great. Now, the Abbasid only needed enough gold for fresh foodstuffs, by the way, guys. So that's why he was on gold, and that's why he pulled it off there. Yeah,
he's also managed to sneak in his wheelbarrow as well, Dave. So his economy is going to be rocking. But speaking of rocking, it looks like we're going to have rock solid over towards the north as that outpost does go up, and this second outpost down towards the south is going to be looked to be sieged by a scout as well as a villager. But keep in mind,
where'd those spearmen go?
Spearmen?
Were there not spearmen from the Chinese? I believe there were.
There were villagers.
Oh,
there were villagers fighting against the wolf.
See, they debated me.
They always do that. That's a classic Chinese debate. But outposts going to be going up on the berries, so you would hope for defensive structures on these berries. It looks like your wish has been granted.
Yep, and the berries are going to be denied, and there's another outpost going up there, and the outpost push continues here as we have one archery range from DeMusliM. It's going to be tough for him to continue military production and drop that second TC. So he's opted to go into military production first. He's going to delay it. He has that 300 stone in the bank, and he can drop it whenever he wants.
Drop it like it's hot. That's the song that's playing in my head right now. But speaking of hot, it looks like one of those villagers does go down inside the outpost. So managing to at least get one. But keep in mind, Beasty investing only a few hundred resources here. We're going to see a ram in response for DeMusliM.
Instead of the TC.
Yeah, that's a great point. But keep in mind, he's about to click up with that TC. Look at that. 383 wood in the bank for him. About 282, almost 300 stone right now. Beastyqt behind this, dropping down a town center. So feigning aggression, but at the same time being incredibly economic.
Aggression into boom. It's a strategy that is hard to pull off, definitely, and hard to balance, but if you can, your opponent rarely expects it. Oh my god, how much HP are left on those villagers?
Those villagers have got to be careful. Fortunately, a horseman does come out, so it looks like Beasty, where is he getting all this wood from? I tell you what, he's got more wood than a lumberjack right now. He's absolutely going ham with this stuff.
Yeah, and there's another villager past that wall off that DeMusliM attempted in the south, and I'm kind of looking at my prediction. Beasty has a really good start here, and I'm looking at my prediction of 31 minutes and going, maybe I was a little bit too long there.
I think it's pretty reasonable. I'd be happy with a 31-minute prediction. I'd be surprised if you saw earlier than that, but now they're going to be heading down towards this south position, and look, more outposts coming up, just being so annoying with these outposts. Scout going to be out here as well, going to be trying its best to hold on, but now we see that outpost going to be denied on the south position here. Also going to be looking to deny out that Scout, force him back, so that wall's going to be able to be finally built, but looks like the outpost is going to be going down here. Second town center for Beastyqt, going to be popping out those villages. Yep. I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see a potential Song Dynasty coming out of him.
Look at that wall off on either side of the outpost there.
So annoying.
From BC, yeah, it's going to be impossible to kill if you're DeMusliM, and DeMusliM finally goes for that second town center. BC, though, already ahead by 2 villagers, and all the pressure has been on DeMusliM's side. He's going to shift that ram over towards the walls to try and take out that outpost at the back of the wood line. Still sheep there for BC, so his economy at home looking pretty good.
Yeah, and we can see now that ram coming through. He's got to be careful to get these walls up. You can see how quickly these walls build for the Chinese. They are notorious for their quick building speed, but looks like that wall is going to be slowly going down. I'd be curious to see whether he looks to put a gate on that wall and try and delay it a little bit further. We'll see how he goes for it. And now heading back, going to be just jumping inside, and there is a unit inside that outpost. I suspect it's probably the Scout. But you can see the villager getting ready to stand by. It is just repairing now. Watch out for that gate. Actually, he's doing a pretty decent job of getting this up. The archer's going to be coming out shortly and looking to deny that villager. Villager is going to be going down, losing its life in this position. He's going to be given over to DeMusliM.
Didn't quite notice it in time. Lots of horsemen, though, coming from Beasty, and he's going to attempt a raid. DeMusliM went for that second town center, so now he's going to be investing the actual cost of a villager. 2 for 1, though, in villager production. He's getting food at quite a steady rate, but I don't know where he's getting it from. I haven't spotted his food eco. He's not on the berries at all.
One of the things that interests me is look how many units are coming out from Beasty right now. But look, he's stacking up his gold. He's stacking up his food. There's a huge amount that is being built up here. He's collecting that gold with his Imperial officials, and at the same time, he's got only just a handful of villagers on gold. So at the same time, he's thinking about Castle Age booming, and he's making military units. There's just so much going on for this guy right now.
Oh, bit of an overcommitment there from BC. He tried to get that ram, and it was being healed, so the ram does not go down. It was being repaired by 4 villagers. Sends another horseman to the north, gets sniped by the TC, and I guess the food eco was from the deer. I'm just so confused at the food situation from DeMusliM. He had so much in the bank. Okay, now it's starting to fall. Now he's having some food supply issues that he can't access those berries at the front.
Yeah, now it looks like that ram going to be coming in towards the outpost. Doesn't look like it's going to be going down. We'll check in with it. And it looks like the spears are going to be out here as well, trying to repel the horsemen. And you can see he's upgraded to a stone tower. We've got the stone upgrade, so a little bit more health on that bad boy. And you can see he's working to try and siege it down, doing so much siege damage. And the longer he keeps this ram out here, it looks like it's going to go down. He's just delaying DeMusliM even further. And behind this, Beastyqt about to click up to the Castle Age.
Yeah, this is a good defense. Defense through aggression, and there we go. Beastyqt is going to find his way to the 3rd age first, and like you said, he's fortified all these towers along the way, so it's going to be so hard for DeMusliM to push back across, and oh man, he's pulling. He's sending the barn right here. Okay, he allocated half of those villagers back to the woodline.
Yeah, this is really scary stuff. I don't know how DeMuslim's going to be able to hold this. I suspect once Beasty gets up to the next age, DeMusliM might even just tap out straight away and just look to go to game number 5. This is such a hard position. I don't know how Beasty's got himself into this spot, but it's incredible. He's managed to keep up with villagers, he's managed to go up to the 3rd age, and he's managed to overwhelm his enemy with regard to military.
And I believe this is the only woodline that DeMusliM can go to right now.
Yeah,
so BC knows that he just needs to keep applying pressure here, and DeMusliM has to keep all of his military on that side. It's going to be really hard for DeMusliM to push out, as long as you fortify that other outpost up there near the barbecue.
Yep. This is really interesting. Now, okay, now we see him moving towards the gold, up towards the north. He knows he needs to get up to the next stage, Dave.
Yep.
This is a really difficult position for DeMusliM. I'm curious exactly what he's going to be looking to do. A lot of villagers still on wood for him. We can see that Beastyqt behind this has just got absolutely so many resources ready to roll. What kind of production is he looking for here?
Well, he's got men-at-arms coming out right now. I believe he had 2 barracks only.
Yeah, we can double check exactly. It looks like the 1 barrack, so might be supervising that. We'll double check and see. Doesn't look like the Imperial official is on that with the supervision, but they might be moving out towards that. We see he's actually supervising up a lot of his food and wood and gold production buildings, but now it looks like attention being turned towards this next outpost. He's going to be looking to do some damage, but keep in mind the Barbican's still standing steadfast.
Yep. And one issue maybe for BC is that his sheep are now running out. All his sheep and deer carcasses around there are running out, so he's going to need to transfer onto food somewhere. And I wonder where that is. There are berries at the back that he could potentially go onto. If he has to shift into farms, it's going to be an issue because he doesn't have any wood.
Yeah, that's a really good point. That's often a very difficult window as China. Once those berries, once those deer have run out. He's still got 2 berry patches behind his base. He's also got that deer down towards that east side. And if he wants to, he's got the boar up towards the north as well. But it's very difficult to get up to those positions without really... It just feels so exposed.
Yeah, and it's a decent army now from DeMusliM. I mean, he's got they're archers versus men-at-arms, but he's got some spearmen in front to provide some sort of shield in front. He's got a camel mixed in there as well, and he's pulling back the ram again. Let's see if he can save it one more time.
Doesn't
the
look
palace
like it.
guards engage a little bit, but have to pull back simply because of the numbers. Lots of idle villagers there from DeMusliM as he works his way through those berries, I believe they were, and he's going to shift over to some other food eco. Probably the berries at the front that were denied initially, but now he has access to. And it's farms coming down from Beastie, so the transition period here is going to be a little bit rough.
Yeah, so no surprise that the farms are coming down, but the question is going to be whether he can look to do any damage here. The Palace Guard's a little bit of a mistake here, just running past the military of his enemy. I think he might have been falling asleep at the keyboard for a second there. They do manage to get away. You can see the movement speed on these bad boys is so damn quick, Dave.
Well, we can double check if he's falling asleep at the keyboard. We're not used to it. We make that call out.
Yeah.
He looked pretty awake to me.
He did. It's the classic Homer Simpson. He's actually got those 2 eyes pasted on his glasses.
Yeah, exactly. He's got his eyelids taped open or something like that.
Oldest trick in the book. But now, once again, we see these Palace Guards getting repelled out. He's losing a lot of Palace Guards unnecessarily. Now, keep in mind, he is getting that +1, but for the moment, they're just going to have 3 armor on them, so not really tanking too much damage.
It's not even like the unit composition, it's just how much. Like Beastie has 42 military right now. He's still in the second age, but it's 42 military. And we have 13 military from, DeMusliM has 42 military. We have 13 military from Beastie. So he's going to need to mass a little bit here and then start thinking about external areas to hit too. Like, do I loop around? Do I loop around 2 or 3 palace guards towards that edge there and see what's going on and see if it expands? The Muslim has wisely walled on that side, but I think diversifying your attack is really good here and forcing DeMusliM to respond with his military because it keeps you safe at home.
Yeah, now we can see that, speaking of diversification, it looks like Beastyqt going to have enough to drop down a keep here, as well DeMusliM going up to the next age. So going to be looking for that castle age timing. Beastyqt probably realizes this and knows he needs to get a keep down as sooner rather than later. But look at the force starting to build up here from DeMusliM. Quite a lot of camels out as well.
He's about to go up too.
It's really difficult to go cavalry into this composition, so you're only really left with one option, and that is infantry. But at the same time, you can try and get those nested bees out, as we see that he's doing, but he's playing up against the Abbasid dynasty. He's going to be able to just drop down springlets out on the field here.
Yeah, but is that really an option yet? He's still in age 2 here. He's got spearmen coming in. The nested bees are doing work. I'd love to see the palace guards in front of them. The spearmen are coming up. They've killed the ram now, so the Barbican will not go down for the time being. More palace guards coming in. Nested bees are behind. They cannot be repaired, and it's just so much military here for DeMusliM. And he's now in age 3.
Yeah, this is really tough right now for Beastyqt. He's throwing away a couple of nested bees. You can see that he's getting some great splits on it. Unfortunately, not doing too much work. Had that been 3 mangonels, all those units were dead.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they're nested bees, and, well, I'm not going to do my impression, Dave, but you know exactly what I think of those units.
What's your impression?
My nested bees impression?
Okay, never mind. I'm not going to ask. Okay, I shouldn't. Yes, sorry, I regret everything. Palace guards coming in, and maybe you should have kept the palace guards in front of the nested bees, and then they wouldn't make that noise.
It looks like we might have ourselves a bit of a keep coming down in the middle of the map. I say the middle of the map, but it looks like the middle of DeMusliM's base right now. Won't be the first keep that's come up today inside someone's base.
That was something special. That really was a moment right there. I'm glad everyone shared that with me. I'm super thrilled that everyone shared that with me. I can only imagine what it sounded like if you had the volume turned up. All right, so
I hope you had the Sennheisers on, the volume turned up.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I hope you really got in there.
Bass boosted, exactly. All right, Palace Guards into the back here. Villagers still wandering around looking for extra food source. Lots of farms coming down, so we can see DeMusliM maybe struggling for a little bit of food eco as the Palace Guards run around. And there's the keep up on the hill. Villagers can't go that way. They have to go home. Villager count right now, 76 for DeMusliM, 84 for Beastyqt, and the military count starting to even out a little bit here for the first time in a while.
Yeah, now interesting to note, I don't think Beastyqt has actually gone for that Song Dynasty, so that's part of the reason why you don't see his villager count popping off the way you normally see a Chinese player having a crazy villager count.
This is going to hurt. That's going to hurt a lot.
Yeah, these Palace Guards doing a lot of work in this berry line here, sending a lot of military units to go and clean it up, so doing a great job in distracting and slowly but steadily running out of wood as well. There's not much wood left on this map.
Yeah, he tried for a sneaky rush on the Barbican. Oftentimes it's the Barbican trying for a sneaky rush on you, but he set the Rams in there incognito mode, and the Palace Guards are going to find that. He does have men-at-arms in front, so he's going to be able to counter those units, but I think one Ram will go down, and he still has to worry about the positioning here. He hasn't crossed the center of the map the entire game. Maybe the scout at the beginning, but nothing. Oh, when he was pushing the deer, and he just made BC mad, and now he hasn't been back across that line in the sand that BC has drawn.
Yeah, BC really looking to prepare himself here for the late game. A second keep going up in the middle of the map. Keep in mind behind this is also picking up the relics. He's got 3 already in his possession. We'll be looking to grab that 4th one as well. And Stonewall's also going up outside the sacred site. Mangonel firing off towards the center of the map here. You can see the Barbican getting healed up. A couple villagers, insufficient wood, Dave. It's not pretty.
Insufficient wood. Hashtag.
That's what she said. Beastyqt now going to be looking to once again repair this Barbican. There's a lot of units out here for DeMusliM though.
Yeah, a lot of units on the field there. 49 units there, 19 for Beastyqt. Like we saw the stone walls before. And he's got some Springolds coming out. He's getting boiling oil for that keep. Ooh, Stonewall way, way down there as the Barbican of the Sun is still being worked on here from DeMusliM. DeMusliM is at 83 villagers versus 91 for Beastyqt. A lot more idle time. You have to consider that for DeMusliM. Beastyqt has been basically safe at home ever since he sent those first few villagers forward.
So now we actually see DeMusliM beginning to put down a defensive keep. This is an interesting position. Keep in mind, at this point in time, village accounts relatively even, population relatively even, so players both on a relatively even footing at this point. DeMuslim's also got the advantage of having the Mangonels over the
Nest of Bees.
Nest of Bees, thank you very much. But yeah, in this position, I find it a bit curious that he's gone for that keep. Just typically, he seems to be on the aggressive, or at least could be on the aggressive, but he's having a bit of a difficult time with these keeps.
Yeah, and he's making more Rams. He really wants a focused push up the middle, but Beastyqt is sitting on that hill with keeps. Feels like he's going to be able to repel this. 31 minutes. Oh, no. The villager died.
No. Oh. He's got it. I think he's got it.
I think one died earlier, though.
Really?
Yeah, I heard it. I heard it. Oh.
Can we get an esports zoom?
Maybe not.
Maybe not. It looks to me like they just...
I heard one scream.
Oh, they love to do that.
Oh.
You ever heard an Abbasid player complete a house?
Emotional damage.
We'll take a look now down towards the south of the Abbasid base. You can see that keep still standing strong. It does look like he's got the boiling oil upgrade here. Looks like the second battering ram going to be coming in and providing a bit of support. Look at all the units out here, Dave. He's got to be careful. He's going to be sending these underneath the keep. But keep in mind, with that boiling oil, it's really going to hurt. Now it looks like attention being turned towards the middle. Once again, those Palace Guards beginning to hit, I suspect, the wood line? No, it's going to be the gold mine he's going for. A lot of damage coming out here. 96 versus 94 villagers. DeMusliM going to be rushing down very quickly, but we can see he's actually got that technology, the repairs from the keep.
Yeah, he's healing under the keep. It must be awfully nice to be stabbed by a turret and then immediately get healing supplies from the castle next door. The palace guards, though, still doing work. Some of them in through the farming eco. We got villagers on the stone there, maybe exposed, that Beasty is running around to. So many places for Vodka to work or to look to. Excellent observer work, not just today, but throughout this whole tournament, by the way, by our observer over there, Mr. Vodka. So send some hearts in the chat for him as the men-at-arms are looping around to that stone that he pointed out before. There's a keep going up there, though.
Yeah, I like this keep. This is a good position. We're able to take a look down towards the south of the map, Vodka, right towards the bottom. I want to see if there's a stone wall just below where we were, because there, oh yeah, there is. Look at these stone walls beginning to build. Oh my lord, he's got so many stone walls going down here.
Beasty.
He's playing late game. He's playing safe.
I don't want to be known as a player who just walls.
Well, you're not doing that much to help yourself, Beasty. He's slowly but steadily building more than just walls, but 35 military population up against 38 seems to be pretty even at this point. Who do you favor, Dave?
I would favor the positioning from Beasty, for sure. And like, let's look at the wood situation as well from DeMusliM. So he's got the wood there. Does he have anything on this wood line at the back? Not really.
Looks like there's 2 trees, maybe.
Yeah, 2 or 3 trees there. There's some trees in the corner. There's a south forest. Yeah. Technically still a forest, but look at this from Beasty. He's got so much walled off. He's got the map position on that hill. Nest of bees, sometimes. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, I think.
Once they get up to double digits, unstoppable.
Yeah.
Before that, completely useless.
But now he's capturing the sacred sites.
I like
and
this.
And that's going to force DeMusliM to push out.
And that's a really great point, because at this point in time, BC's got a larger military than DeMusliM does. He's also got to keep down on that sacred site in the center. He's got those stone walls down towards the south. Up towards the north, though,
Ooh,
take a look at that.
Raid.
What have we got here? Look at that. He's doing a little bit of mountain climbing, it seems. DeMusliM going to be able to stop that sacred site victory before it even really gets started.
And Beast is going to be like, wait.
Oh, yeah.
How did those get there?
He could potentially knock all of this out, though. He's moving all of his forces towards this position. Beasty could actually go for the trap here. We can see that there might be walls coming down behind this as well. If we take a look a little bit towards the north of this current position, up towards the boar, Vodka. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. He might be walling him in. He might have him trapped here, Dave. This could be really bad. That's a lot of units. He only had to send 1, and he sent 20.
He has them completely trapped. I think there's only the mountain pass that he went over, which is hard to see. It's hard to identify that, but that's the area that DeMusliM ran over to get there, right?
Yeah, this could be bad for him. Now we see those units coming back. Vodka's going to quickly highlight those units so we can see exactly how many it is, but looks like we've got about 10 crossbows, about 8 men-at-arms.
I feel like the Lord of the Rings music should come on now. Like, da-na-na-na-na.
So
they go up through the mountain pass here. I didn't even know that was an option.
The
up
only
there.
music I know from a movie, now DMCA, but it's not Lord of the Rings, Pirates of the Caribbean. I love a good Pirates of the Caribbean. But no water on this map, so yeah, I could definitely rest with the Imperial Age. Imperial Age for Beasty. He didn't clean up that attack.
And he went for Great Wall.
Yeah,
he went for Great Wall Gatehouse, and that's going to increase his defenses, and this is going to be really tough for DeMusliM to push up through.
Yeah, I'm a bit curious as to why he didn't look to clean this up sooner. He did lose an Imperial official as well as a fair few villagers out here. He is now behind on the villager count by 11. He's looking to clean this up with a couple of palace guards, but obviously up in the Imperial Age now, we can see that he's got a number of upgrades coming through. It's going to be palace guards, elite palace guards, as well as that health increase for them as well.
And forward army completely cleared up almost. DeMusliM going through the last little bit of his resources, maybe. He's got lots of farms.
Oh my gosh.
Almost chopping through all of his wood there. I think there was the 1 gold mine. That stone mine over to the left is gone, and he is forced to engage against Beasty now.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of wood left, unfortunately. Beasty trying his best to clean up this position, and you can see he's actually turning his attention towards those crossbows. But now we've got a trebuchet on top of this hill, sieging down towards the keep.
Multiple trebuchets. There's no way. You can't repair that keep. You're never keeping it alive. You either have to place it further back with the 2,000. Yeah, he's banked up 2,000 stone, so I guess he can make replacements. But until you get some siege to counter that or some sort of army, just leave that position and place one a little bit further back.
Yeah, this is really tough right now for Beasty. You can see that he's ahead. But what are those?
What are those?
Those are stables. Is he going?
You think he's got enough?
I think he's got enough staples.
Maybe
but
one or two more.
my concern is he doesn't have wood. Now, he could be going for something like Camel Riders? No, surely not. Knights? I guess Knights. Knights is the only play he can make here. So he's going for a big Knight switch.
Start the trade right now.
Yeah, okay. All
Limited
right.
trade line, maybe. Get some gold to buy some wood.
Are we able to check? Is he going for the trade wing?
Military wing.
I got so excited. Yeah. I thought it could have been the trade wing, Dave.
And a new meme was born. But it is not today. And there's even a cannon up there from Beasty. And this is the point in the game, if you're Beasty, where your APM just slowly starts to drop, right? And you start focusing on all the important parts of the map. You start making sure everything is fully walled off. You got your siege in the middle. You're playing towards your win conditions. You're forcing your enemy to come to you. I'm surprised he hasn't captured that third sacred site.
Yeah, it's quite curious because he's had plenty of time to do it.
And I'd love to see him put a keep over there too, because that's the only place his military really isn't. So if DeMusliM wanted to break through anywhere, it would probably be on that side.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty smart move as well. We may potentially see that. A lot of villagers now moving forward. It looks like it's going to be a forward keep coming through for Beastyqt.
Keep from DeMusliM too.
Yeah, so both players looking to keep up this position. But keep in mind, there's trebuchets at the top.
Yeah, and right up on that hill too. And
I can't stop saying keep. I'm just saying keep all the time now. Keep in mind.
I'll keep it up.
I won't stop. But Bombard going to be coming out now. Look at that damage as well. Just that keep is barely going to be alive in another 30 seconds.
Yep, 2 trebuchets right away. Bombard as well, and the Palace Guards are just heading in. They know the keep is going to go down pretty soon. DeMusliM still has stone in the bank. He's still mining stone right now, but he's running out of every single resource. Beastyqt just has him in a stranglehold. The only thing I'd like to see from Beasty is to capture that last sacred site, but even now, he's doing such a great job, and so many villagers going down there.
Yeah, those Nessa Bees actually doing work for once in their lives. They finally decide to lift. We're at 29 minutes, Dave. You called this game to be 31 minutes long, and I tell you what, it's looking like it might be close.
I just want some credit. I just want some credit if it is.
You're going to get lots of credit. I'm sure Twitch chat is going to be calling you the 5 head, the big brain, all that good stuff.
The big head. We're just going to combine it together. Okay, there we go. There's the play from DeMusliM, and it is going to be Horseman, I believe, and he's queuing them up right now. He's queuing up a lot. He's got some Knights on the way too, I think, right?
Yeah, he is looking to get the Elite upgrade as well. Horseman, to me, doesn't really make sense because he doesn't have wood. Knights definitely do make a lot of sense, but he's in a really difficult spot because he's got 0 gold a minute right now. Did I just see an esports head shake, Dave?
Well, I mean, if he doesn't engage right now, his House of Wisdom goes down and his town center goes down and he's dead.
Is that his capital town center that's right there?
Okay, it's official, chat. We have 50 seconds until the 31-minute mark here. 50 seconds. The House of Wisdom is burning. He's attempting to repair. The cavalry is coming in. I've never been more hyped in my life. The landmark is down, and it only needs the town center to go down here. We need 40 seconds extra from DeMusliM. He's engaging on the bombards here. Keeps have boiling oil. The cavalry are going down. The bombard is attacking the town center, and the palace guards are holding off the cavalry. Bombard still being attacked, and the other one's running away. We're almost at 31 minutes, and even if we get there, we need him to finish in a minute then it switches.
Yeah, I think you're still safe. And you called it! You called it! It's 31 minutes
31
on the dot!
minutes on
Dave
the dot!
does it! DeMusliM taps out. Beastyqt takes the game and the series up to game number 5. Ladies and gentlemen, you have got a big-headed man in your living room right now, and it is Dave.
Was that like right at 31 minutes?
It was right at 31 minutes. If you go look at that game in the history, it will show like 31 minutes and 2 seconds.
Hey, you know, some days you just got it.
Great call, Dave. Very well played.
That's so funny. when you asked that question, I was like rubbing my head.
Yeah, you were harnessing it. You had both of your temples going.
Oh man,
Oh,
no, it's 2-2.
All right, well,
that
another
game
win
was
for China.
Yeah, and it was clinical. You're right. Like, what is the win rate at now?
It's got to be
like 80-something%.
83%, something ridiculous.
Oh my god!
Wait, I'm going to look over towards Overlay Guy. He's going to let me know. I suspect that it's going to be pretty high. He's not letting me know. I'm just seeing the back of his head.
No, you can't. No. He needs time.
in his time. He's a
Yeah,
mathematician, but
he doesn't do the calculations.
we got another guy for that.
He does the design, yeah.
All right, well, heading into the final game, there's going to be one map left, and that is, of course, Lipany. You can see it there on your screens. Game number 5, it's going to be Lipany. Ooh, DeMusliM in a great position here. He's still got the Mongols available to him, but once again, we reach the 5th game.
Yeah.
Do we even see the Mongols come out here?
Yeah, you say he's still got the Mongols
we
available
don't even see the Mongols come out.
Exactly. We don't even see them come out for one of these players because that has been the theme of the tournament. Lipany is going to be the matchup, and it's going to be English against Abbasid. Who DeMusliM played Abbasid against the Mista's English. The Mista went for 3 TCs, I believe, to try and counter it. And then DeMusliM had a really, really good beginning of the game with all the siege. Seemed like an unlosable position. Mista sniped his landmark, which, if he goes back and plays it again, probably shouldn't happen.
No. Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is English struggle here, I think, unless they can do significant damage in early Castle Age, because I don't think you have much opportunity to do damage and deny the second TC. Unless there's an unfortunate stone spot.
Yeah, I agree with you. This is a very difficult matchup for English to win. It's all about doing damage. As you mentioned, the second town center, it's almost guaranteed to come up. How do you stop it? Well, I don't think you can. Third town center is always a possibility if you see the English player going for a second town center.
Yeah.
And then you're just going to hit this early castle timing. The mangonels come out, and mangonels obviously do so effectively against English. They love to go for this longbow spear mix. And it's just so difficult to deal with. But now we can see players beginning to tap away at their keyboards. DeMusliM, you can see his left hand just working away, doing the classic esports finger movement there.
Typing.
QEWR, QEWR. And it looks like, ladies and gentlemen, we are here in the 5th game of your series against DeMusliM versus Beastyqt. This is it. This is where the money is made, Dave.
And we've got the scout from... Oh, man, I'm so hyped from last game. I can't even remember the... DeMusliM.
Yes, yes.
Grabbing one sheep there. And he's gone right out to the middle of the map, and he's going to loop back. Didn't get much luck there in finding the sheep in the middle.
Yeah, not the best route for him, unfortunately. But keep in mind, he's spawning down towards the south. He's going to be on the English here. This map is... it's Lipany. And Lipany is an absolutely great map for the Abbasid. There's a couple reasons why, but number one is going to be these berry spawns. So typically on maps, you're going to see 3 berry spawns per players. But if we take a look and turn that fog of war off right now, you're going to see so many berries out on the map. You can count them now, 3 up towards the north, 2 out towards the west, and look at all those berry spawns out towards the west of DeMusliM's town center. just so many berries. We're in this is like Utopia, but for berries.
Yep. And Abbasids only have to, once they get to the second age, they only have to spend half the price on their villagers, but food can still be an issue for them. If you don't have berries to go out to, it does not feel good to start dropping a bunch of farms as Abbasid, because you already have that time window where you're investing into that second TC. You don't want another time window where you're not investing into military, where you have to invest into your food eco.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So we now see him coming around. He's got plenty of sheep here already. Beastyqt getting a great start here. All right, Dave, I dare massage your brain once again. You think this is going to be a long game? You think this is going to be a short game?
No, I don't know. I'm done. I retire.
Quit while you're ahead. It
Yep.
makes a lot of sense. My suspicion is that it's probably going to be a little bit shorter. Beastyqt knows this matchup very well. This is one that he's practiced many times. He loves picking the Abbasid dynasty into the English here, so I suspect he's going to be a very short favorite to win this game. Now, keep in mind, going through and winning this game here is going to put him in prime position. Will guarantee at least second spot on that ladder, potentially even move him up to first place depending on the result of the game later this evening. That's going to be TheMista versus MarineLorD, so stay tuned for that one.
We spent we had a little math meeting last night where we went over all the possibilities, and then we thought we figured it out for the ranking, and then like 10 minutes later I'm like, is there any possibility Beastie finishes above MarineLorD? And then everyone's heads just go down again, like, oh, let's figure it out. I think there's like 2 situations where it happens.
Yeah, it's unlikely, but it is possible. And then, dare I say, that the moment that we realized that there would also be bull Schwartz that would be allocated to individuals that won today as well.
How'd you say that?
Bullchos.
Oh, okay, that was
I was doing a bit of a dance for a second there.
waltz.
Yeah, that was it. That was it. Yeah, it's an up and coming incremental counter.
Punk
yes.
rock band of some kind. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we're up and starting. There's 5 of us. But now it looks like we've got that age up coming through here for DeMusliM. So he's going to be looking to get that age up. Now, have we just... I'm assuming we've
Sheep
just got...
City.
Yeah, that's a lot of sheep. He already has a lot of sheep in his base. How many sheep in total has this guy got?
The food eco for the opposites here is going to be insane.
13 sheep so far.
Yeah.
That's
And you mentioned the berries on this map are so nice for them, right? They can keep expanding, keep getting those, and having those sheep to fall back on gives you a little buffer area too. So that's really, really nice for him.
We'll take a look now at DeMusliM's base. You can see he's got that council hall coming up.
How many sheep does he have?
Right next to the town center. It looks like he's got 6 sheep, including the 1 carcass that he's got. So council hall coming up, finish about 420. Pretty nice. But not a bad timing at all there for him. At this point in time, no stone taken for either player. So it doesn't look like either stone mine has been taken yet either. So still taking a bit. Ooh, we might actually have a stone mine up towards the north. Let's have a look and see. Just scrolling down a bit. Yeah, villagers now moving out towards stone. We see a forward outpost coming down here as well. So a very smart move here from Beastyqt. Take a look at this beautiful position between 2 forests.
Yeah, and I think that's connected to his dynasty or his golden age.
Yeah, it probably will be. It will be a great way that he can extend that out. Maybe a house. We'll be able to build that or bridge that road. But yeah, Beastyqt looking in a great spot here. Can be so happy with this as well. It really just shuts down any early aggression, and I think DeMusliM's going to know that. So now DeMusliM realizes that that shuts it down. What does he do from here? Is he going to be looking for a tower push? Is he going to be looking for potential rams getting mixed in as well? There's a lot of options that are open for him, but whether those are going to work, it's going to be a different story.
Beastyqt's looping around right now with the longbows, and is that the berries? I believe it's only the berries at the top of the base there. Okay, so if he gets pushed off these berries, he can always fall back to those 13 sheep that he hasn't even started working on. Also started with a stable behind, so he's gone for the stable first, doesn't have the stone in the bank yet for that second TC, so he's going to start producing a few horsemen and trying to catch these longbows off guard.
We see arrow slits now being completed as well for Beastyqt. So not taking any chances on the front. You can see those beautiful wooden parts of the outpost at the top. But yeah, that stable coming up is really going to help him out here. We can see that DeMusliM still has longbowmen in the queue at this point in time, but that first horseman coming through, as well as fresh foodstuffs for Beastyqt, is on the way. So keep in mind, this is the 5th, the final game. Whoever wins this, they're going to be looking very strong heading into the final stages.
Yeah, scout engaging a little right there. That's maybe a little bit sloppy to lose that scout like that. Maybe you saw a low HP unit that was trying to snipe down, but the scout with the stealth force in the middle is so valuable. It's strange that he would toss it away.
Yeah, it does seem quite strange. But behind this, we still don't see any sign that he's going to be taking stone. So to me, that indicates he's not interested in outposts. He's not interested in a town center. What's he going to be doing? Maybe a fast castle? He could go fast castle into knights, look for some sort of knight pressure here. DeMusliM's got to have something up his sleeve in this position, though.
By the time he gets there, though, that's the question, right? By the time he gets there, what's the economy from the enemy like? Can he just simply spam units? They don't even have to be good units.
Yep.
It just have to be a lot of units.
Spears with phalanx, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yep. It's so difficult to deal with, but it looks like we do have that blacksmith coming down here as well. So DeMusliM going to be looking for some sort of timing push here. He is getting +1, so looking to do a bit more damage in this situation. He's got quite a lot more military, same villager count as his opponent at this stage. But keep in mind, once that second TC does eventually come down, he's going to be feeling very good about himself. But what's going on in the base here of Beastyqt? I don't see any second town center. I don't see any build up of units.
He's just kept the stone. He got the stone. He's pulled them away now from the mining camp. He's waiting for the wood, I think. And the horsemen and the TC fire are going to be enough to kind of hold these longbows back from his eco. He's just buying himself enough time. And now he's cutting off reinforcements. Great play. If you can engage the army at the front and you have mobility, go and cut off the reinforcements.
Yeah, such a smart move coming out now here from Beastyqt. He's going to be looking to do quite a bit of damage. A huge, massive longbow starting to build there. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Beastyqt even throw down a blacksmith and even look to get +1 range defense just in this position, because there's so many longbows out. You really need to be worried about how much damage they're putting out.
Villagers now shifting to the top, and I believe he's going to town center on the berries in the north there.
Yes.
Perfect. So he's going to have really secure food eco here.
Doesn't forget his mill either. We've seen players throughout the tournament also forget their mills.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, but he does a great job of chasing away that scout. That scout looked like it was posturing towards those berries. It wanted to get up, find out a bit more information about the expansion. But it looks like now it's going to be repelled, and we do indeed see siege engineering coming through right now. Great spot there, Dave.
So attempted push here for the English player. He knows he needs to do damage. We've been talking about it this entire time. Hasn't spotted that TC up there, so maybe even doesn't know that's an option to push with the Ram. He's going to go after that main eco from Beastyqt and force Beastyqt into more military production.
Now, keep in mind, with DeMusliM going for siege engineering here, he's going to be looking to push somewhere. So he's going to need to make his decision. The front looks quite open, but at the same time, not a lot of value up there. Yeah. I suspect if he finds that second town center, he's going to be really able to punish that.
Yeah. I love the fact that Beastyqt, I can't say it enough, I love the fact he TC'd way up there on the berries, too. I mean, you're going to have that constant food income. It means you can produce the horsemen a little bit longer, and especially against a ram push like this, you just need some sort of unit to try and take that out or try and push back the longbows. And there's an archery range behind this.
Yeah, so going to be probably adding camel archers in here. We've seen the camel archers quite strong. Typically, you want to get those numbers up about 5 or 6 just to avoid potentially being killed by the longbows. They're going to be sniping out all of the spearmen at the same time working towards building up that massive horseman. You can see how many horsemen he's got out right now. Beastyqt going to be very happy with his position. You can see that he's only got a couple of villagers on gold. He is just focused on defending this push. He knows his victory condition right now is to stay alive and keep making villagers.
Villager difference still not huge. It's 36 to 34. I mean, the second TC was just placed down a couple minutes ago, so that'll start climbing eventually. But right now, DeMusliM still with the military advantage here, 32 military, and he's got siege engineers. He's going to go for the very first ram, so the push will begin soon. It's just how many horsemen, how many camel archers does Beastyqt have when it comes in? The number is rising. He's now 13.
Yeah, now keep in mind, DeMuslim's going to be very happy to be pushing into the city that has been built over on Beasty's side of the map, whereas Beastyqt not going to be particularly happy to fight in that. Ideally, you want to avoid fighting around buildings just because of the way that pathing happens. So we'll take a look at the front of Beasty's base, and we can see that the battering ram is moving in towards this outpost. After that outpost, probably going to be looking at taking out the mining camp. What other buildings have we got back there, Dave?
We've got the House of Wisdom, obviously, but I don't think it's late enough for a landmark snipe yet. Certainly not enough rams as the horsemen come out. I think we also had the lumber camp, but he can always shift to the other side. Horsemen engaging, and he loses 3 of them.
That's a lot of horsemen that went down. We can see a villager also out repairing for the moment, but I don't know if that was a worthwhile waste. I feel like Beastyqt kind of threw away a couple of units there that he didn't need to.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, those 3 horsemen going down, that's 3 horsemen that aren't going to be alive in the fight. Throughout the fight, those guys are going to be tapping away at longbowmen. It's going to make such a difference, Dave.
Yeah, and there's another stable and another archery range in the back there for Beastyqt, but he's not producing any range units yet. He's banking up a lot of food at the moment, but doesn't have a lot of wood in the bank, doesn't have a whole lot of gold either. And is still on, it says he's still on stone with someone, but I can't see where they are.
Yeah, this is quite curious. So in this point, we can see that there's just not a lot of wood that's in the bank right there for Beastyqt. He is getting in that textile upgrade, though, so he's going to be fine when it comes to his villagers surviving. But now, once again, we see those horsemen moving out, trying to siege down this outpost. Or
he does get the ram.
The ram, yeah, and get the ram. It's a pretty nice job by him. But it delays this push, but at the same time, he throws away units.
Yep.
And you've got to really ask the question whether it's worth it or not.
Yeah, and I love the fact that DeMusliM has a couple villagers forward here, too, building outposts, getting those, or keeping that zone of influence for those longbowmen. You can see they're glowing underneath there. And the villagers, as soon as the longbowmen take a good fight, will continue to solidify his territory in the middle there and continue to push up with those outposts. It's going to get harder and harder for Beastyqt to push back across.
Yeah, now we see some spears finally coming in here for DeMusliM. We're at the 13th minute, and we're seeing the first spears actually get added in right now. So it is shaping up to be a difficult position here for Beastyqt. You can see that he's now resorted to taking out Lumber towards the north of the map instead. Struggling a bit with it. You can see he's got a lot of villagers on it, more than 1,000 wood a minute coming through right now. He's getting archers, camel archers, and also horsemen are being trained currently. So he is really looking to diversify his army.
29 military now, but 48 and a huge longbow mass there for DeMusliM. A couple of houses go out, a lumber camp also being taken down. He's attacking that main TC. The ram is way out in front of this army. It's almost like he's baiting the horsemen to come in. He's like, look at how far out my ram's coming. I saw what happened the last time you charged in.
Yep.
You lost 4 or 5 horsemen, and maybe you can do that again. I think the horsemen, though, are they back there? Or did they loop around somewhere?
They're
okay,
just
they're
chilling
still back
out.
there.
They're hiding for the moment. Villager's going to be pulled instead of the horseman. He's got to be careful with these. You can see him actually moving towards the house instead. He's not too interested in sieging down that ram. He knows how important it is to keep his villagers alive. Villager lead beginning to build. He's up to 11 at the moment. If he stays alive in this position, he's going to be A-OK.
This is going to be a big fight.
It is going to be an absolutely huge
In
fight.
the second age. This is going to be a big, big fight here. We had 3 stables there from Beastyqt. Is that a 4th stable or is that another?
Looks like it might be an archery range.
That's an archery range. So that's the 3rd archery range.
Yeah, so he is really looking to go all in here and defend. Now, I actually spoke with MarineLorD a little bit earlier in the week, and I asked him, what do you think about this English push that's coming out, where they make a lot of outposts, they just make longbows, a few spears to keep them safe, they stay under it, and they just push with rams? And he said, no, it's not good. And it seems to be that the tune is changing. I'm sure after watching this game, he'll be scratching his head wondering how the heck you beat it. Because BC looks to be playing this incredibly well. Going to be throwing away a couple more horsemen here. Manages to get one decent volley onto those rams, but at the same time, the horsemen relatively stay alive.
Yeah, he lost 1 there, but he's doing a decent amount of damage to the ram. Oh, the ram just sneaks away. Maybe the villagers can come in and repair that at some point. I loved your Hollywood standard French accent there.
It's not good.
It's not good. And there's another ram
Third
from
ram of the day.
DeMusliM.
Well, third ram of the moment. But yeah, Beastyqt, now plenty of technology has come through. You can see he's also getting horticulture, it looks like, is going to be coming through. So really focusing on his economy at the same time. He's got +1 defense, +1 offense.
Oh, God, look at this battle. Look at how many horsemen he has.
That's a lot of horsemen. Now we're going to find out if MarineLorD was right or whether he was wrong. You can see the horsemen just not even caring about those battering rams moving forward. Not the best concave here. You can see the spears beginning to come through, fighting underneath this stone, as well as the multiple outposts that are here firing down. He's putting down the 5th outpost as well, just getting absolutely shredded right here.
Is he just using his military as a human shield for the villagers to come forward and kill the rams? It feels like it at the moment, and it feels like DeMusliM doesn't really know what to do with those rams. Lots of indecision there from Beastyqt, as DeMusliM is still at 60 military, and BC is at 24. Like, what was that?
I just saw a little bit of esports eye movement coming out of Beastyqt. It was one of those classic, like, oh, I can't believe that.
He's going for a siege
He's doing the bad man a siege tower right now. He's pushing it into his enemy's base. This is when you know the game is over, when the siege tower comes out. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be 3-2 in this position. DeMusliM looking incredibly strong as we head through to the final stage. Beastyqt should know that it's over right now. This is the classic esports siege tower.
The esports BM coming in right here at day 5 of N4C. And DeMusliM feeling good about himself. He's got 2 rams in front. He's got a longbow mass behind. We can hear the players laughing in the background. Beasty's not laughing right now, though, as 3 rams are still pressuring his House of Wisdom.
Look at the stupid siege tower. It's so dumb.
It is very tall.
Oh my God, I can't. Look at it moving. I'm dying over here, Dave. Take over, please. I need to.
There's only 1 ram left. If he does this and he doesn't win, like, if anything, he's just made him more mad with this move.
Yeah. He's going to go Super Saiyan level 3.
Did Beasty pull this against someone else?
I think so,
I think he did in an earlier set.
He's going age 3. Beast is going age 3. This isn't over. He's still got 71 villagers, only 48 for DeMusliM. Keep in mind, the town center might go down, but look at that stupid siege tower.
Villagers now
God.
engaging against the siege tower.
Not the siege tower. Not like this.
And it tries to run away, but it's just too slow. It's too big. It's too unwieldy. And the town center still being pressured here. Beastyqt with 27 military. DeMusliM with 70. Villager count is
Beastyqt can win this.
74 for Beasty and 49 for DeMusliM.
He goes H3. He just makes 2 mangonels and he wins.
Yeah.
Oh, this is
Losing a lot of villagers
This
here,
might
though.
not be over. I mean, we joked about it. Yeah, there is a lot of villagers going down. I mean, ideally, he just wants to prevent this House of Wisdom from going down. He can lose the town center. If he loses the House of Wisdom, he can't get up. But you can see that he's got it in queue at the moment. Beasty definitely knows what his win condition is. Still got plenty of archers out as well.
And still got plenty of HP on his House of Wisdom.
This might not be over just yet. You can see 69 military units for DeMusliM.
DeMuslim's starting to sweat. He's realizing what's happening.
That's a classic esports sweat on the bald man's head. But now it looks like the age up going to be coming through. Do we see mangonels drop down immediately? Look how many resources are in the back.
All units now converging on that House of Wisdom right now. I think that Mangonel
Oh, that's
maybe
the last landmark.
Yeah, that Mangonel is being built way too far away.
He needs to get that mangonel up on the front line.
Stacked.
Oh, he's going for the landmark victory. DeMusliM could lose this if the mangonels get out in time. And you can see the way that he's moving on this position. He knows that he needs to get this down.
I think Beasty pushes this away. He's waiting with the villages. He's got 71 villages. Look, he's waiting there. He's waiting. He's
so smart.
He knows his timings, and he's looking at that HP bar. There's only 2 Rams there at the moment.
He wants
There's a
him to
third one
commit.
behind. He wants him to commit so that Mangonel comes out. The Mangonel is making its way at the top of our screen here.
Mango,
the House of Wisdom is on fire. The villagers are going to repair right now. No, they're going towards the Rams. You need to repair, I think.
Oh, this is so tight right now. The mangonel shot could make the difference. You can see the splits coming out. The House of Wisdom going down. It looks like the HP is not going to be enough, ladies and gentlemen. I think you might have the game finishing just shy of 20 minutes. The villagers all going down. It looks like the game is going to get called. The Rams
Beasty
doing
with
what
the
they do best.
Classic esports lean back in the chair, and he knows. DeMusliM knows.
Yeah.
And he's pumped.
That is what a game. I mean, what a set. 3-2. These two players went all the way down to the line. DeMusliM just coming out victorious. That classic siege tower. You know, once the siege tower comes out, there's no two ways about it.
Well, I mean,
the game's over.
If you make a siege tower and you lose, like, that's bad. Like you're not coming back from that, right? And Beasty had a shot there. I think he should have. Honestly, I think he should have used the villagers to repair right away.
Yep.
Mangonel on the stuff, and then Horseman loop around to try and take down the Rams. Because the only issue there is the Rams. Once the Rams are dead, the longbows can't really engage against the Mangonel.
Correct. Yeah. There were some pretty nice splits that were coming in from DeMusliM, though. We could see that DeMusliM very
I guess there was
aware.
also spears from the English players, so that's going to be an issue, yeah.
Yeah, ideally he would have loved to have had 3 mangonels. It would have given him that element of surprise, taken out a splash of units. Very well played. And that siege tower, I mean, that's got to be the highlight of the tournament for me. You know, when you see a siege tower like that, it just...
That's the highlight of your tournament?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Of all the great things we've had here.
Stephen the siege tower.
That's the highlight of your tournament.
Yeah, you saw
it's
how many...
BM siege tower.
Yeah.
I respect it.
Yeah.
I respect it.
I love a good BM siege tower. That was really quite beautiful. Yeah. It was just, you know, I'm winning this game and there's nothing you could do about it. There was almost something that he did do about it, though.
Yeah.
It was very, very close.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it looks like we've got our players coming out, so I expect that we're going to be having an interview very soon, Dave.
Mm-hmm. And I think I have the honors.
You do indeed.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of sheen on the on the couch.
We'll have to dim down those lights.
Yeah. And it's no longer daylight, so we don't have that coming through the window anymore, but
there's going to be a lot of reflection. All right, Dave. I'll let you head
Thank
over
you
there.
for the set. That was truly enjoyable.
Indeed
and
it was.
Thank you, chat. And I will return later for our last set of the day, I believe. I said congrats. This is Overlay Guy, by the way. Wave hello. Hello. He didn't have our microphones on, and obviously we're not capable of turning on our own microphones.
No.
That was a pretty crazy set. Had some memorable moments.
Mm-hmm.
I have to ask about the Siege Tower.
Oh, yeah. So Beastie did it before to MarineLorD.
I thought so. Yeah, I thought so.
And like, you know, I think he won one map of the series, and given that Beastie's through in second place and I'm qualified too, MarineLorD told me before the series, he's like, "He's so him," you know, like doing his little French accent. I didn't know what he said at first, so I had to get him to repeat it a few times. But yeah, then it was just like, okay, I'll do a little wiggle in front of you. You know, I felt the game was going really well. I think Abbasid can be English,
yeah,
but it's rough. You know, it is rough. If the English just is quite patient, has good like knows when to get the farms down and stuff.
Yeah,
and like a lot of people try to transition into Spearman a bit too early. Whereas I think like longbows pretty much serve the purpose as long as you scout everything, you know?
Yeah. So what happened there with that one fight where he was trying to like come in against you? Do you think he was a little bit too hesitant there? Or was it just an impossible position?
Yeah, I think it's impossible.
Yeah.
Like, because that was, I could potentially like garrison up my units as well because there's like 5 towers there.
True, yeah.
It's rough because I didn't know, I saw he was mining gold as I started pushing in. And I've thought about it quite a bit. There's 2 ways to go about it. You either mine gold and try and hope for a mangonel, or something like that, or men-at-arms. But the men-at-arms don't really do the job either, because longbows have 1 extra damage than normal archers. Or play very hard feudal, which when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay. Like I felt that was the better one against what I was doing. So yeah, I just felt pretty comfortable.
So you have the honor of being one of the players to have a landmark victory in this tournament. We won't speak about the other honor on that one, but speaking of that, I feel like you've recovered really nicely the last couple sets that you've played. Like you had a really, really clean one yesterday, and then today against the player who's technically second in the bracket and who has matched up against all other guys with 2 wins. How are you feeling after that?
I'm feeling good. Like I knew Beastie was going to be hard, but when we have played, it has always been very close, you know. So it's I didn't ever think it was going to be a 3-0 unless the other one was playing bad. But yeah, he played well. The China game, I'm gonna have to have a look at that one with against my Abbasid because I didn't think it was that bad, but then it was like
you had no resources left.
Yeah, I was like, oh god, it was terrible, but. Yeah, like I had the 2 unfortunate days where I was very sick against MarineLorD, and then I was a bit sick the next day. But yeah, I'm really happy to bounce back, you know. And I know we were talking about like results and stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna try my best no matter what. So I'm very happy to do so well against currently the like seed 2 in the group. Yeah,
and the guy who's looked super, super strong the entire way through. On Hill and Dale, you went HRE. And you grabbed 3 relics, so obviously you're feeling pretty good. But then you see that he has the silver tree. What is your thought process there?
So I was a bit like, oh, that's one way he can get back. Because if it was just a Deer Stones, I was like, man, I'm so far ahead. But I don't think it competes with HRE. Like, especially if he went for the Tower Rush first, which I held pretty well, actually. Like,
your first outpost was like perfect timing, I think.
Yeah. Like, I didn't even need to get this stone, but I got the stone. Like, just 3 villagers can go collect 42 stone, and then the outposts are only 37 stone with HRE because they're cheaper. So I did that, and then it was like, okay, I'm pretty good. And then I got some archers, cleared up the spearmen. As soon as that happened, I was like, I can't lose. And even though I saw the Deer Stones, I was like, there's no way he can like amass enough lancers, because obviously you have to use the stone for the market or the silver tree. So I knew he couldn't get enough lancers, and I was like, I felt good after that one, you know, because the first game was a bit rough. I'm not sure. I kind of picked Russ on a whim, but yeah, he played really well that game.
You were also up against Rus on Mongolian Heights, and you played that one really defensively. And he kind of gave it back to you the next game with China. But take us through like your approach. Once you get the Barbican down, once you get the Dynasty in, you went to stone immediately. Was that a part of the initial plan there?
It was, but I didn't realize he was going to do like a men-at-arms massive attack, you know? Because I know we had the river, but there's no deep sea fish. And I think Chinese economy can actually keep up / be better. Yeah. Which is kind of a surprise, because I don't think, is that the first, it's got to be the first Chinese on Mongolian, right?
We've had so many games, I don't even want to go there.
But either way, I was going to go 3 TC, actually, with Song. So it was going to be insanely greedy. But yeah, when he started being super aggressive, I was like, oh, so I got like 2 barracks up and started supervising them. And yeah, it all worked out great, actually. I was really happy with that game because I felt that I was never in danger.
Yeah.
And everything just went smooth. And I'm actually really happy with my China, man. Like, even though it's like a new patch with them, I feel that it just runs so smooth, I feel. Like, I could have probably finished that game a lot sooner.
Yeah, that's what if you go back and look at his villager count,
Yeah.
like I think after your first raid, when you got that second keep up, he was at 35 vills.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, we were thinking like, you're playing it safe, you know, you're just making sure you can't lose. And
Yeah, that's the thing, right? It was like that is a Rus map, or it has been this tournament. And I was just like, all right, I'm just going to do raids everywhere with the Palace Guards. I'm going to be safe. And because he was being so aggressive with keeps, right?
Yeah.
And so I didn't know exactly where I was, but I killed so many villagers that I was like having fun, you know? So I didn't want to rush it. I didn't want to go crazy. And yeah, I'm just really happy with that.
I mean, you got the win at the end of the day. And you spoke about your expectations when you first arrived here, before you got practicing with anyone. And you said, I just hope I take a set.
Yeah.
Basically. And now you're 3-2.
Yeah.
Like, do you see yourself going through to the finals or potentially winning the tournament?
If I run into MarineLorD in the semis, maybe not, but I would love to play MarineLorD again and TheMista, just because I was like really out of it. But I think anybody can take it. MarineLorD's the obvious favorite. He's really damn hard. I have beat him before in a tournament, which he still holds over me. You know, he's like, when he beat me the other day, he's like, "Oh, you're sick. You even take away my victory." And he's like,
"And you're bold."
Yeah. And he's like, "This group stage, it doesn't even matter. You knocked me out of the tournament, and you're still in it." And it's like, but no, if I keep playing like this, which I think I'm playing smart with the drafts.
Yeah.
Because the one draft that didn't work out was Abbasid Chinese, which I've told everybody. I'm like, Abbasid sucks against China. And they're like, no, China sucks against Abbasid. But I don't know how to play it. But yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good now. I'm relaxed. I'm through the group stage, you know, or round robin. Mm-hmm. I'd like to not run into MarineLorD, I guess.
Who would you most like to face?
TheMista.
Oh, you want...
Oh, yeah.
You want the... Oh,
yeah,
I respect that. I respect that a lot.
I hate the fact that I lost 3-0.
Yeah.
Because that scored
It was so close. It didn't reflect the set at all.
Yeah, and like, you know when you're a bit under the weather, like he probably feels the same about playing Beastie, right? Because he had a bad arm. And he's probably like, I want to play Beastie again. So there's so much stuff. But I would love to test myself against him. Because he is tricky. But yeah, I felt like TheMista.
Perfect.
Not because I think I have good chances. It's just
and now you have the mental wall between the two of you, right?
Yeah,
so you're not paying attention to
I'm
any
not, him across the table being like, oh no, and it's like, oh, then he kills everything. I'm like, God damn it, TheMista.
You got me again.
Yeah. I'm just gonna phase him out. Like, oh, you've got a bad arm, have you? No, I'm gonna step on your head. You know, like,
if you're not too careful, I'm gonna unplug your fin.
Yeah. Like, no mercy against him next time. You know.
All right. Well, thank you and congratulations. Another 5-game set here. We've got a long day, and we're only halfway through, so we've got 2 more sets, I believe, following up, and it's going to be great. Thank you, DeMusliM. Congratulations, man, and good luck into the next round.